managed to get the door open to the final room in the stern crypt, the resting place of Lord Gilbert Stern. There they were assaulted by 2 animated armor, and after a grisly fight, were victorious. The party then swept the ruins, retrieving what loot they could, and on their way out, they uncovered the tomb of Lady Rosalind Krantz, Lord Gilbert's paramour, and in a display of compassion for these parted lovers, they carried her remains to lie next to Lord Gilbert's. Finally, you all left the tomb. Farron cast Layman's tiny hut, and the entire party was able to rest in relative comfort and safety. Eurus, having been quite badly wounded in the fight, despite Grubb's warnings, instantly fell asleep. The next morning, I can't speak. The next morning, you all departed bright and early, continuing west towards Menare Bay. With Grubbs driving up front, Eurus and Bryn travelled for a while in the back of the cart. Here, Bryn let Eurus know that Grimsby was aware they had spent a night together. And after a short, somewhat awkward conversation, she then left the cart, leaving Eurus to himself. And I believe that is about where we left off. For those keeping track, it is currently the 20th of Redfall, the year 205 of the 5th era. It's around 9:30 in the morning, and the day is Amaday. So yeah, you are currently all heading along the road west to Frogmorton. Does anyone have any roleplay they want to do on the road, or are you all happy to go ahead and travel there?
Who is on the helm?
I believe Grubbs is driving. I'm not sure who's shotgun.
Probably Orson.
Probably Orson.
He likes being up front. It makes him feel important.
He is important.
I think I'll just have Farron walking next to the horse, kind of just talking to it and in her own little bubble.
Yeah. Very nice.
Does anybody know any travelling songs?
Let me just get out the saxophone.
Grubbs would be would seem very pleased by the presence of a saxophone.
Well, I get. Oh no, what's that say? Sorry. Oh, that's cute. Maybe I don't know. Farron will kind of improvise a little sax line to go along with Grimsby's travelling song.
Nice. I love it. Make a performance check for me, Farron.
Okay. Bear with me. I cannot remember how to do that.
Okay, you roll a d20, and then you add your performance modifier, which is it'll be in your charisma section.
Ah, there we go. Okay, performance. Okay, so I rolled a 4, and it'll be a +9.
Okay. So 13 total. All right. Grimsby, you're humming this little tune, and Farron, you're listening, and you're like, oh, that sounds almost familiar, and you start kind of playing along. You kind of go a little wrong here and there and play a few odd notes, but all in all, it's a pleasant enough tune. Grubbs, you're probably feeling quite pleased, at the very least.
Excellent.
Is anyone doing anything else? Bryn, are you up to anything?
I think Bryn's just gonna kind of be, I would say chilling, but I don't think Bryn does that. So she's just gonna kind of, be kind of passive in all what's going on, paying attention, but not really joining in much.
Yeah.
But she doesn't seem too bad. She just seems like she wants to walk.
Fair enough. Okie dokie. All right, so the journey Eurus mentioned to you a little earlier in the day will take about a day of travel. unless you stop, you'll probably arrive sort of at dusk, or a little later, perhaps. The journey's pretty uneventful, though as the day goes on, the weather gets worse and worse. Throughout the morning, there's a fine mist in the air that's accompanied by this grey drizzle. And by the time afternoon rolls around, it's raining pretty heavily. However, the countryside around you is slowly changing as you're going. It's going flatter and gentler. And there are more trees than there were in the rocky slopes of the hills you've passed through that kind of provide a little shelter from the rain along the sides of the road. It's approaching dusk when you see a small lake in the distance and a village clustered on its banks. Eurus, who at this point has hopped out of the cart at last and has been kind of walking along with you all, points this out to you as the village of Frogmorton. And he turns to you all and he says, "There's not much there, or at least there wasn't last time I visited, but there's an inn and it's dry, if nothing else." So you all continue along. And after another half an hour or so, 45 minutes, you draw near to the village. As you approach, you learn from where the village gets its name. Ringing out from the banks of the lake, at first muffled by the sound of the rain, but getting louder as you approach, you hear what is unmistakably the croaking and chirping of hundreds of frogs or toads. Heading closer, you can see that the village is pretty small. It's only a little larger than Pincup, the village you passed through on your way north from Fox Pond. There are clusters of wooden buildings with roofs of overlapping wooden slats, and they're lining the sides of the road. Most of the windows are covered with drapes or shutters, but you can just make out thin lines of golden light escaping through the cracks and falling over the pebbly road. The very first building that you come to as you approach the village is the inn. It looks simple enough from the outside, but homely. And through an archway, you can see a small stable where a single horse has been tethered. There's a sign hanging from the roof, like the overhang, and it's kind of swinging lightly in the breeze, and it reads, "The Floating Log." So you've arrived at Frogmorton. It's sort of it's starting to get dark now. It's probably about like 8 o'clock, 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, something like that. So yeah. Will you all be... Oh, sorry, go on.
Oh, I was going to say, well, this looks about as good a place as any for us to sleep.
I wonder if they have tea.
Oh, I'm sure they will. Frog tea, probably.
Ooh, haven't tried frog tea before.
I'm not sure you're going to want to.
What is
Maybe
frog tea?
I don't know. Probably
Maybe
tea
there's a
with
frog in the
frogs it.
teapot.
Perhaps. Have you ever had that before?
I don't know. Maybe it stirs up the tea nicely.
Perhaps. I'm sure I read something somewhere about this tribe out in the jungles who used to put frogs in their tea so that they could see things. But it might have just been a story.
Surely they'd just use their eyes.
To see very strange things.
You see, you need to make the distinction between just seeing things and seeing strange things.
Yes, that is a good point. I think it's quite confusing otherwise.
Is Rowan somewhere? Sorry, continue.
It took me a minute to get that. I'm such an idiot.
Just for Jane's reference, in another campaign, Chloe's character, Chloe being a person who stepped out temporarily, her character is a sort of oracle who has visions of the future, but she has a habit of just going up to people and saying, "I see things," and it's very confusing.
Doesn't really help anybody.
Oh, now I get it.
People.
She's like, "I see things," and they're like, "Yes," and
Carry on.
Oh, thank you for the insight, because that's quite helpful. I know what to expect. Have I ever run into this person?
I know. Shall we head in then? Get out of the mist.
Yes, perhaps it's worth seeing if they have somewhere to park the cart.
Oh, good idea. Is there such place?
Yeah, the stable that's around the back, it kind of seems like it's available for use. There's a sort of lanky, scruffy-looking man that's sort of kind of sorting some straw through at the back. I don't know what stable hands do. I'm realizing, but he kind of gives you a look when he sees your cart, and just says, "Looking to park it here, are you, guests?" And he kind of jerks a thumb towards the inn.
We
Yes.
hope to be.
All right, well, be my guest. And he gestures to one of the vacant stalls, of which there are numerous. It doesn't seem like this place is very busy.
No such luck of meeting my frog prince then.
Head down by the lake. Maybe you'll find him.
Ah, good shout.
Okay, so you all get your horse and your cart, and you leave it there, taking any valuables with you that might be in the back.
Gubs will make sure that they're sort of fully fed and watered and stuff before heading in.
Lovely. Okay, doke. All right, you all head on inside. Heading in, you see that there aren't very many people here, unsurprisingly. But you're not the only visitors. There's a family that sat at a table by the window, apparently eating a late supper. They're talking amongst themselves. And a couple of men in plain travelling clothes sat next to a roaring fire at the far end of the room, and they're chatting. Looking around the place seems simple enough, but it's warm and dry, so you're happy enough. Behind the bar, you see a brown-haired, pot-bellied halfling, and as you come in, he sort of brightens up a little and gives you a nod and a little half wave. Hello, welcome.
Hello. Do you possibly have rooms for the night and food for travellers?
Yes, both of those. Both of those. And he sort of looks through like a ledger, kind of with an air of, he's trying to make it seem like this place is busier than it is, and then he closes it and he's like, yes, we have a few rooms available. Two double rooms, a twin, and two singles.
I see.
How many do we need? Gubs will turn around and start very slowly counting and sort of lose track of how many he's counted and start again. And keep doing that for a couple of moments.
Well, yes, we'll need a couple of rooms, certainly.
All right.
Perhaps. What were the rooms again?
There are two double rooms, there is a twin, and there are two single rooms.
Well, I'm sure Bryn and Eurus could take the double room. And he gives them a look.
Bryn looks at Grimsby, and she looks like she just doesn't know what to say. She just kind of like gives him a sort of slight like smile, and then she just kind of looks down like, bastard.
Smiles back.
That'd be quite cozy, wouldn't it?
Very cozy indeed, right? What does everyone else think for rooms? I'm happy to pay for one by myself, if there's enough going. I'm not very good at maths.
Yeah, I think Farron would probably take a single room.
Okay. So
Orphan might go for a twin.
Yep.
And
Gubs would probably go with Orphan in that, if
yep.
Orphan had no event. Yeah. Objections to that?
Orphan
Fantastic.
would, in fact, suggest it.
Excellent.
How
Lovely.
much are the rooms?
The double room is 4 silver. The twin is 3 silver, and a single is 2 silver.
Grimsby will pay for his own room, the single.
Arthur will
2
pay
silver.
for the twin.
Eurus will hand the money over for the double. And Farron, I'm assuming you hand over the 2 silver as well? Lovely.
Yes.
All right. You gather all your coins together and pass them across, and he gives a somewhat gleeful smile and quickly takes the coins and tucks them away.
Grubbs will give Orphan a silver and 5 copper to pay for his part of the room.
Okay.
It'll be- sure.
Oh dear. Okay. Sorry, I was marking off the money on your sheet. Okay, and then he says, "So that's that sorted." And as he's speaking, he's getting keys from you from like a where they're hanging on the wall behind him, and he slides them across to you one by one. And food, of course, we've got that too. We've got stew and bread, some cheese, I think, kicking about somewhere. Let me see, some gammon, I think. And he sort of looks around. What can I get for you all?
Grubbs is going to lean in very close and sort of look around in a sort of conspiratorial way and sort of whisper to him, "Now listen very closely. Do you have tea?"
Tea? Some sort of tea. I think a dandelion, maybe nettle.
Oh, excellent.
Oh,
Grubbs seemed a lot happier suddenly, and a lot less conspiratorial.
All right, I can certainly brew you a good pot of that.
Yes, please.
All right. What else? What else for everyone?
Now, I also have a very important question of the utmost importance.
Yes.
Do you have ale?
Wouldn't be much of a tavern if we didn't, would we? Yes, we've got ale.
Where from?
I think somewhere south, somewhere in Eben, maybe.
I suppose it'll do.
It's fine stuff, I assure you. Very fine stuff indeed. A man of your taste would be sure to appreciate.
Oh, well, it can't be that bad, can it? Oh.
Does coffee exist in this world?
Not as far as you know, or at least not in Nuwen. Grimsby has never heard of anything called coffee in Nuwen.
Gotcha.
Yes, I'm afraid to say.
And this stew, what sort of meat is in it? Not frog legs, is it?
Oh, no, nothing like that. Nothing like that. It's lamb.
Lamb. I'll have a bowl of that, please.
All right.
Make that 2, please.
And 3.
Oh, very popular today, I see. Very nice. All right.
I'll get Farron to kind of lean in and ask for a little bit of cheese as well, just in case she needs to persuade any more mice or rats.
Okay. She's thinking ahead. All right.
Yeah.
He gives a little nod at that. Okay.
I don't suppose you have any vegetarian options? Vegetables and the like?
At this, he looks dubious. I might have something. I can. I'm sure I can scrounge something up. Some.
Just any sort of vegetables you can find would be excellent.
Oh, all right. I'll see what I can do.
Thank you.
And gives a nod. Is anyone else ordering anything, or is that everything for everyone?
That's all for Grimsby.
Okay.
Mm.
Okay, he looks around at all of you and he's like, "Well, that'll be 5 silver, I think, for all of that in total."
I'll cover it.
Are you sure,
Um,
Grimsby?
Yes, it's fine.
No, you
We're-
should allow me.
He's already paid, he says. As he hands it over.
Cute.
Thank you, though.
The gent then tucks away and he gestures widely about the room and says, well, feel free to find a table. I'll bring everything over to you.
Thank you.
And he bustles back into a little kitchen area where you can hear the clattering of pots and pans and mugs and things like that.
How are we all tonight?
At this question, Eurus glances very briefly at Bryn, but doesn't seem to respond to the question verbally.
Trinity smiles a little bit.
Bryn will look
tired,
at everybody else. Oh yeah. Bryn will look at everybody else and say, a little weary from traveling, I suppose.
Well,
Raring
we'll
to
get
go.
an airbase soon.
It'll be very good to sleep in a bed tonight.
Yes.
I kind of think like Farron would be quite intuitive about people, just kind of like listening and observing from the side.
Yeah.
And I think she's kind of cottoned on to the fact that others in the group have started to kind of notice Bryn and Eurus, so she'll just start playing like a romantic tune on the saxophone just to kind of annoy everyone.
Oh no!
I love it so much! Could you make another performance check for me, please?
Oh my god. Okay, so I rolled a 4 again, and plus 9 is 13.
Okay, yeah, it's a decent tune. It's a decent tune. You can
She'll kind of start laughing. She's a bitch.
Oh, Bryn will look at her, and she will just have this scowl. She does it. It's just a very subtle, but she's just looking at her like, "Why are you doing this to me? You don't know me."
She's a troll.
I support it. Bryn does not support it.
Eurus, by contrast, gives like a somewhat guileless smile and says, "That's very fine playing."
Thank you. I hope it sets the mood.
I love her so much.
Grimsby very noticeably looks away from the table to stifle a laugh.
What sort of mood is it exactly that you're trying to set?
I don't even have an answer for that. I can't even think. Oh my god.
One of rest and relaxation, Eurus offers.
Yes. That's exactly it.
I got that, yes.
I see. Can
We'll all get
Arthur roll
lots of rest
insight on
tonight.
that?
Yes. Wait, on Eurus? Or on...
I don't know, either or. Probably Eurus.
Okay.
Arthur got, for his insight check, an unnatural 20.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Oh no!
Which
Oh,
is
dear.
unusual for Arthur.
Okay. You get the sense that Eurus is trying to bring, I guess, some levity to the table, and he's trying to divert attention away from something. But you're pretty oblivious as to the situation in general, so you're not really sure exactly why he's so anxious for the mood to be light
Okay.
or anything like that.
So Arthur just think there's something suspicious going on.
Pretty much. Pretty much.
Arthur squints at Eurus.
Eurus catches the look and just sort of looks back at you and furrows his brow a little and then offers you an uncertain smile. Before looking away. While you're all chatting, the barkeep has come over and he's started putting out your drinks. Orthin, you've got your ale. Grubs, you have a little pot of tea, and he kind of puts down a few little cups.
This is the important question now.
Mm-hmm.
How does it rank?
So you pour yourself a little cup. You inhale the aromas. You get a sense for the palate, and it seems like it's. Well, he mentioned it would be dandelion tea. You take a sip, and it's surprisingly good. It tastes very fresh. You wonder if these ingredients have been gathered recently.
Did he just run outside, look around, panic, then grab the first dandelions he could see? So.
You can't prove that. You did not see.
Fair enough. So, out of 5 stars, how would Grubs rank it? Do you think?
It's like a 3.5, like a solid 3.5. Like it's not fancy, but it's simple. It's clean. It's a warm cup of something. As for the ale, Orphan, it's palatable. It's not quite dwarven ale, but it's fine. It's serviceable.
He was expecting better after she hyped it up.
Well, he's nothing if not a salesman. He sort of hands out the rest of the drinks and then goes back, presumably to continue sorting your food out.
Does anybody have any plans for when we get to the Menair Bay? Shopping? Tea shopping?
Well, we are on a mission. We should probably do that at some point.
Yes, that's a good point.
Work before pleasure is usually the order of things.
I'm sure we could squeeze in just one shopping trip.
We can maybe do both at the same time. We will have to know the lay of the land, after all.
Exactly.
Exactly.
Recon, of course. Grizzly's going to check the Seeker's compass and see if it's still pointing towards. Is it Arnall?
Yeah, it's pointing towards like Menair Bay in general. From what you gather, from what Eurus has mentioned to you folks, Arnall and Arran are like 2 cities that have sort of merged together to form this like this larger city. You've heard him refer to them as the twin cities before. And yeah, it's still pointing in that direction.
We're still on the right track. Thankfully, we've got this to keep us right.
I've not been there in quite some time, Menair Bay, but it's a lovely place.
Is it warm?
Well, it's not tropical. It's a little colder than Eben.
Fine then.
But it's by the sea, so it's it's mild.
Maybe we'll go sailing.
Maybe.
We go for a swim. What?
Yeah, perhaps. Well, if you want to go sailing, you'd be welcome to. I just fear dwarves tend to sink.
Oh, we'd make sure you didn't fall in. And if you did, all you have to do is just hold your breath and you float right to the top.
Really?
Yes, just take big, deep gulps and you're fine.
Oh yes, that's definitely how it works. I have experienced sailing, and yes, I would definitely. It would be nice to get out on the ocean for a little bit.
Think you'll have any connections in Menair Bay that might be able to help us?
Oh, I
Down
hope
by
not.
the dockyard? No?
I hope not.
Well, I'm sure we can figure it out after we get the Grimsby looks around. Is there anyone in here that looks a little bit sus?
You've not seen anyone apart from that little family by one of the windows and those two men by the fireplace. If you like, you can roll like an insight check or something to get a sense of.
Yeah. What's my insight? Let's just go. Oh, there we go. 19.
19. Okay. So the family straight up just probably hasn't even noticed you're there. It's like a mum and a dad, and then a couple of relatively young kids. And it seems the kids are keeping their parents busy. They're telling them all these stories about what they've been doing with the day, and the parents are kind of trying to keep up and nodding along with them. The two men by the fireplace, they don't seem to be paying much attention either. They're just sort of talking amongst themselves. It seems like they're just passing through the village and they've stopped here for the night, much like you guys have yourself. Yeah, you don't think that anyone here is paying much attention to you.
Thanks. Yes, once we have the, we can then figure out where to go next. We've got some options.
The question is where to start looking in Minear Bay, I think. It's a large city, larger than Wyvernview.
Yes, perhaps we might want to contact our old friend Aegis and see if he might be able to help us.
An interesting thought.
Yes. See if they really are dreamless. Tee-hee. Unless anyone else has any better ideas.
It would make sense to see if we can talk to him.
You might very chance he would know more than us at the moment.
They see where he was going to in Arnall.
Is that something you can just do now? Eurus asks you.
I could do it. I could probably do it tonight, I think. It's to do with this cloak thing. Let me just cast my mind back to what this cloak can do. Yes. Oh, I could do it now, actually.
Well,
Right now, if we wanted.
Might as well.
Grimsby will pull out the lock of Aegis's hair that he has and lay it on the table. And then he'll start casting Dream. And while it takes the minute to cast, he'll say, so what should I say to him? Just like, tell us where the shard is or where you're going to go, or else we'll keep haunting you in your dreams and stuff like that.
I think he is sufficiently scared of you, Grimsby, so that should definitely work.
Yes. What should I make it lets me sort of make like a little messenger. What should I make it? What's something scary?
Why don't you use your rat?
Oh, that's a good idea, Bryn. Have you tortured people before?
She doesn't answer.
All right. I'm just reading Dream now.
Yeah. Oh, wait. I don't think they can reply. Oh, they can converse with it. Okay.
Target.
Appears in target's dreams and can converse with the target as long as it remains asleep for up to 8 hours. The messenger can shape the environment, blah, blah, blah. If the target is awake when you cast it, then the messenger knows it, and you can end the spell or wait for the target to fall asleep. Okay, so we'll have to wait for the nighttime then, probably.
It's now probably like 8:30 or something, like 8, 8:30. So You're leaving it for the moment?
Yeah, until more later in the night. I think we might have to wait, but I'll do it tonight. And I'll let everyone know what he says.
Well, it'll give us a place to start. And as Eurus says this, you see the innkeeper coming out again, and this time he brings all the food over. He brings all the bowls of stew and lays them out, and gives you, Farron, your little piece of cheese. Grubs, he hands you what looks to be some kind of mash made out of vegetables.
Okay.
The color is nondescript. It's a mysterious pile of mashed vegetable matter. But it looks vegetarian. It smells vegetarian, and upon tasting, it tastes vegetarian.
Probably vegetarian, isn't it?
It's probably vegetarian.
Excellent.
It's corn.
It's corn. And that done, he kind of looks around you all and offers you a smile, and then he scuttles off behind the bar again. All right, well, I suppose. Have you ever done this before? This dream spell thing?
No, not really, no. Kind of a first-time thing. What I'm hoping is that it just lets me talk to him, give him a little bit of a fright, ruin his sleep, and hopefully he'll tell me what we want to know. And if he doesn't, then we'll just keep doing it until he does. And thankfully, he holds up the strand of hair, we have this. So, it helps the whole process, really. Makes him more vulnerable.
I think. Seems like a useful spell.
Yeah. Handy. I'm not even sure where I picked it up.
Okay, so you're all sipping on your various drinks and eating your food. The food is, again, serviceable. It's cooked well enough. You get the sense that, a chef is only as good as his ingredients after all, and he doesn't have the best ingredients, if you had to guess. All right. Is there any more roleplay you guys want to do, or are you all just going to kind of wind down for the evening?
Grubbs already looks like he's sort of nodding off a little bit.
It's kind of cheesy, but I'll kind of have not in a creepy way, but I kind of feel like Farron would kind of be observing the family, just kind of wishing that was her own past with her own family, and she's getting all depressed and dark, thinking to herself.
Very nice. Well, not very nice, but
not very nice.
Wonderful.
Delightful.
Eerie.
Are you trying to be
retire early?
Yeah, no problem. Are you trying to be subtle about that?
Yeah.
Karen? Okay.
Yeah. It's just kind of to herself in her own little bubble.
Yeah. Okay, doke. All right, Grimsby, you're heading early?
Yeah.
Okay.
Bryn's definitely going to go follow him 5 minutes later.
Okay.
So who's left now? Is it just Arthur, Eurus, and Grubbs, and Farron?
Yeah.
Okay.
I kind of feel like Farron would probably be the last to leave. Just God knows when she crawls to bed.
Someone would probably need to nudge Grubbs before we go. Just to wake him up.
Arthur is not going to leave before Eurus because he's kind of sus. He thinks Eurus is kind of sus.
That's fair. That's fair. Okay. Eurus at some point is going to go over to the bar and he's going to get himself a glass of ale, and then he comes back over and sits. But he catches you looking at him, but he doesn't question it. He doesn't question you on it. In the meantime, Grimsby, you head off to bed. And you're sort of, getting ready and sorting yourself for bed and sorting all your things. I assume, Bryn, you're just sort of heading up to Grimsby's room?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Bryn, you do that. You head up, and you are now outside the door to Grimsby's bed.
She'll softly knock on the door.
Come in.
Oh, it's unlocked? Oh, and she'll just come in and sheepishly close the door behind her and stand there. And then she'll rummage in her pocket and she'll pull out a few silver and she'll say, "Look, I feel bad. You didn't have to do that. I would have happily shared a twin with you, and I feel bad that you had to pay for a single, so here, just..."
Stupid. No. You're my friend. Keep it.
No. Grimsby, take the silver. I feel bad.
Just pay for it next time.
Okay, fine. But you don't need to do that. It's fine. Okay?
Can I be quite honest with you?
I suppose.
I only did it because I'm very bad at maths. And that was a nice round number. But in all honesty, it's fine. I just want to say I know, he gestures sort of to the door. An indication of Eurus, I guess. I'm not upset with you or anything. It's just... I'm a little bit worried.
Worried?
Of course. He's working for Tilveri. I don't think our interests align with his.
Well, I mean, you have to remember that he was with Tilveri. And
that's a very good point, Bryn.
As far as I'm concerned, as far as Tilveri is concerned, he still is. But,
Bryn, you're a homewrecker. Oh my god, I didn't even consider it. I completely forgot about Tilveri and Eurus like that.
Oh,
sorry.
You don't even know the half of it. You don't even know the half of it, Grimsby. And at some point I'll explain, but not... I'm just
That's
too...
fine.
It's just too exasperating. But it's not like that. I don't think Tilveri will be heartbroken over this. But, I mean... At the end of the day, it was Eurus's decision, wasn't it? Not just mine.
Well, it's fine. I'll be here.
Yes, it's not my proudest moment, but...
Everybody makes mistakes.
I don't know...
Hmm?
I don't know if this is necessarily a mistake. Not yet.
Whatever you say, just be wary. And if
Grimsby,
you want
I'm
me to...
always wary.
That's a very good point, actually. You know what? I'll trust that you have a good handle on this. But if you ever need any help, you know where I am.
Well, thank you. You've been a better friend to me than many that have come and gone in the past, I must say. You didn't strike me as the type when I first met you, but here we are.
Well, don't get used to it. And he gives her like a playful smile.
Well, I hope that your psychological torture of Aegis will go well.
Thank you. Me too. I'm quite excited, actually. I've been
let me know how
debating
it goes.
between a giant rat or an infinite swarm of rats that attacks him. I can't really decide.
I would say an infinite swarm of rats, and then have a giant rat that's like
Come
the
out
king
of
of the
the swarm.
rats. Yes.
A giant rat that makes all of the rules.
Yes, a rat king.
Rat King. Sounds great. Good idea.
Okay,
All right.
yes.
I'll let you get back to your lover boy, and I'm going to get ready for this.
Oh, please don't call him that. And then she'll say, but still, she'll quickly head over to the bed and say, I'm still going to here. And she'll leave like 1 silver on the bed. Just
Fine. If it helps you sleep at night.
It will. So yes. I hope you're all right, and good night.
I'm perfect. Good night. And he'll close the door behind her.
She'll head back down into the inn, like downstairs.
Okay. Orthan, Grubbs, or Farron, have any of you been up to much while Bryn's been gone, or are you all just sort of sitting around?
I kind of feel like Farron's probably tried to make like some small talk and tried to get to know some of who was sitting down there as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm not very good at the role playing side of it, but yeah, I don't know. I feel like she's tried to just kind of get to know everyone a little bit more and tried to make sure that they think she's not some kind of threat or somebody they can't really trust. I think she's trying to like break down that barrier a little bit, but I don't know if she's doing a very good job.
Okay. So would you like ask them about where they came from or things like that?
Yeah, just kind of like how they all met each other, like what sort of like their goals for going on this quest is, and just kind of stuff like that.
Okay. Oh, do you need to head to walk your dog soon, by the way? Sorry.
Oh, it's okay. My mum, she did it for me.
Oh.
Which was cool. That's fine.
Cool. Okay. Well, then we can roll with that for a bit. Sorry, Lindsay, what were you going to say?
Unfortunately for Farron, she's asking the two not altogether 100% with it party members.
Good point.
How dare you?
Or maybe she's just, shooting the shit with them instead. Just kind of.
She should still do that.
Eurus is there. Eurus can at least give a coherent reply.
All right, I'll kind of have like Farron kind of like shove a mouthful of steak in her mouth. She's kind of just like one of the guys, and she's like, "So, what brings you on this quest, personally?"
Wow.
Eurus will look to Orthan and Grubbs first.
Grubbs is still sort of dozing slightly.
Well, let me think. It must have been about a month ago or something like that I was just traveling as you do, and I came across this strange looking fellow who seemed to be lost. And let's see, he was trying to find his way to a nearby settlement. He seemed very thirsty, I think. Wanted some kind of hot beverage. Was it possibly some kind of heated juice or
tea?
Grubbs will sit up instantly. So, sorry? Did someone say tea? Yes, please.
Farron will just kind of like giggle and kind of go back to listening to the story.
There isn't a pot of tea or anything, is there, at the table? Like,
Would Grubs have finished it by now?
There'd probably be a bit left in it.
Arthur would pour Grubs the last bit of tea.
Oh, thank you, old chap.
Of course. I was just regaling Farron, and I suppose I don't know if you've heard this tale, Eurus, of how we met.
I'm not sure that I have.
I was just saying that, where was I? Yes. So I was out travelling, as travelling folks are wont to do. But I met this rather interesting fellow along the road.
Mm-hmm.
He was trying to make his way to a nearby settlement, but I think he seemed a little lost. I think he was after some kind of hot beverage.
Sounds like a sensible chap.
Oh, wow. If you say so. And we were traveling along the same way, so we kept going.
So you're fast friends by now? You bonded over tea.
Well, I think it is Grubs that has most of the tea. Yeah.
Oh, it was me? Oh. No, I think, despite my best attempts, Orphan prefers his ales.
I think you're working on me. I like tea.
Excellent.
Grub seems incredibly pleased by this.
I just like my drink to be a bit stronger. I like pouring it down and knowing that you're drinking something.
Oh, you should try some of the teas back from Enyas. They're very strong stuff.
Oh. Well, if I ever find myself over there, perhaps I will.
Maybe we should mix the two and see what happens. That's really random.
Eurus gives a dubious look.
Do you mean mixing different types of tea, or mixing tea and ale?
I'm thinking alcoholic tea.
Yes, I think some of the tea in Enyas is a bit like that, but I'm not sure ale is quite the right thing to add into it. It's more of a spirit of sorts.
I think Farron and her half-cut ways like to mix them. But then she tries it and spits it out. It's disgusting. Maybe not.
Some folks back in the mountains, they try mixing ale with fermented apples and berries. They call it a diesel. I've never been a fan of it myself.
What does it taste like?
It tastes like ale mixed with fermented berries.
I see. That makes so much sense.
I suppose it was to be expected.
I am still curious. I will try it one day.
Well, is fermented berries common?
Probably. I mean, there's only like so much you can do in the countryside, and a lot of it is just ferment the various things.
Oh, well, I'll tell you what, I'll see if I can whip something up. Yes, I'll be back in a moment. And
Okay.
go over to the bar.
Hello again.
Hello. I have a question for you. Do you have some kind of drink made from fermented berries?
Maybe. Let me see. And he sort of goes and is looking at these various kegs and things that he's got, and he's like, "Oh, I've got this. It's some sort of forest berry cider. Is that the sort of thing?"
Yes, that'll do. Yes.
Oh, lovely. It's just a 3 copper for that, if you don't mind, he says as he's pouring you a tankard of it.
And an ale as well, please.
Of course. Call it 5 copper altogether, then.
Thank you very much.
That's all right. And he slides them along to you.
These all make an interesting mix, he says as he turns around.
He's like, what? Okay, you head back to the table. You now have a cider.
Right,
And
here
more
we
ale.
are.
Oh.
Would you like to try it as well, Eurus?
I'll pass, but thank you for the offer, nonetheless.
All right. Here. Mind if I use your empty? Shall I pour yours into your empty mug, Karen?
Oh yeah, go for it. I'm excited.
Foreign.
Bryn, I would say that you appear downstairs about this time, just so you know.
So she sees this going on.
Yes. Yes.
She will just sit. She will just go and take her seat next to Eurus then, and look at him and say, "What is this?"
I think Orthan's just about to show us.
In
Oh,
fact,
okay.
You wouldn't like a cup, would you?
It depends on what the cup contains.
It's a dwarven mixture that I'm trying to recreate as best I can.
Dwarven, what?
with the resources available. It's not quite dwarven, really. Saying that implies certain levels of quality that I doubt we'll find, but we'll see how it goes.
Which dwarven is this exactly?
It's referred to as a diesel.
Does Bryn know what that is?
Make a intelligence check. Just straight up intelligence, I suppose.
She got a 10.
You're not altogether sure, no.
She'll go, yes. Yes, that sounds like something that exists.
Here, if you pass me your cup, I'll give you a little. I'll give you some.
A tiny bit, please. Just a tiny bit. I don't want to save the rest for you, shall we?
Oh. Drink is always tastes so much better when it's shared. Come on. We're only having a third each. A third of a cup each. If you like it, we can get more. But, here, Orthan just goes ahead and gives everyone a third of a mug of this mixture.
Mm-hmm. Anyone who looks over towards the bar will notice the barkeep sort of standing up on tiptoe and squinting at all of you from over the counter. He's trying to see what you're doing.
I think I'll have Farron kind of down it with this reaction, but then she's like, actually, it kind of grows on you.
An acquired taste, Eurus says, kind of quirking a brow at you.
Yeah. Is there any more?
We can get some more.
You can, Bryn will have taken a sip, I suppose. And does she like it? Is it something she'd like?
Would she
I don't know.
A Guinness and a Strongbow dark fruit mixed together?
No, she absolutely would not. She would hate that. I will assume then she's going to politely offer hers to Farron after taking a few sips.
Baron kind of gives a drunken thank you. Just downs the second glass.
Very nice. Okay, you all have, or in the case of Bryn, do not have your respective diesels. Okay. Is there anything else anyone wants to play, or shall we skip to Grimsby contacting Aegis?
Ooh.
Are we
Greg
already-
thinks what he wants to do.
Okay. All right.
Yep.
Okay. So, a couple of hours go by. Those of you who retire do so. Eurus probably goes relatively early. And Grimsby, what are you doing? You are on mute. I don't know if you're... Is Finn...
Whoops, sorry about that. I did not realize I was on mute.
That's okay.
Grimsby will sit down and begin casting Dream,
All right.
targeting Aegis.
Okay. Alrighty. Okay. All right. So you. Sorry, I was just rereading it. You cast the spell, and you sort of enter into this trance-like state, and you're kind of. It's as if you're moving through thick mist. And then after a while, you can see a figure sort of looming ahead in the distance, small, minuscule, but growing larger until you can recognize it as Aegis. You come so close, and then you see him turn to face in your direction, and he appears stock still when he sees you.
How's your night?
Just fine.
Good. We're heading to our knoll. We want to know where the shard that you had is.
All right. It's with the rest of my group. Like I said,
And where is that? Specifically.
I don't know. I would assume they would have reached Manair Bay by now. I don't know. I'm not sure if there's anywhere in particular they're hiding out.
How would you have found them if you continued on your journey?
I would have put out feelers for them, I suppose.
Feelers.
A few words dropped to the right people in the right inn, and word gets
What
around.
are these words and who are these people?
There's an inn in Arnol itself. Wait, sorry, I'm getting my map up. Yes. The Golden Trout. The innkeep there should be able to help you. Just say you've been having bad nightmares of late. It should be the first thing you say to them.
The first thing. Wonderful. And tell me, if it was you that showed up and said these things, would they expect that, or would that be suspicious? And Grimsby's going to change his face to look like Aegis's.
Aegis looks a little taken aback at this. They might be surprised that I came back so soon.
I see. All right. Anything else? If for the record this doesn't work, we will be seeing each other again very soon.
At that, he gives a small, tight-lipped, grim smile. I thought as much. Not that I can think of.
All right. Well, you've been very helpful, Aegis. I hope you have a wonderful sleep. Good night. And then Grimsby's going to leave the dream.
Okay. All right.
And then he'll probably wait till the morning. Oh, sorry.
No, that's fine. Yeah. Okie doke. Alrighty. Has everyone else head to bed at this point?
I think Bryn will have been weirdly reluctant to go,
Okay.
but she'll eventually go, and if yours is asleep, she'll just kind of creep into bed. But she seemed after he went a bit like, shit, what do I do? But that's it, yeah.
Yeah. He is in fact asleep when you head in, so you just go to bed. Is everyone else just off to bed as well?
Yeah, Gubs would be.
Yeah.
All right. Oh, rhythm. That's what it was. Okay. So you all benefit from a long rest. So you all are back up to full health, and all of your spell slots are recovered. And I need to expand my repertoire of playlists, but what can I say? This one just works. Okay. So you wake up, and it is the morning of Eller Day, the 21st of Redfall. It appears to be another dreary day outside. It's quite grey. But you all wake up and slowly begin to make your way downstairs.
Arthur would be staying in his room. He'd be staying in staying in the room for a moment, but looking out for Bryn for when Bryn passes by.
Okay.
I think Bryn, given that this is quite weird for her, will probably wait until Eurus is up to talk to him.
Okay.
And then she'll probably head down with him.
Okay. Eurus probably wakes up quite early. Yeah. I assume you trance, so are you already up by the time that he is?
Yeah, she'll have been up for a while.
Okay. He wakes up and he's sort of a little groggy. Offers you a little smile and is sort of rubbing the sleep from his eyes as he sits up in bed. Good morning. Trance well?
Yes, of course. This is a little strange, don't you think? Takes me back to earlier days once.
It is a little strange. Not unpleasant. And he sort of laughs a little.
Yes, well, I think things will be fine. I think at this point it's more or less the cat is out of the bag, so to speak. Shame Mari's not here to enact that for us, but alas. But yes. Good morning, I suppose.
Good morning.
I'm going to. I'm pretty much ready. Do you want to go down together once you're ready?
Yes. Yes, sounds good. I won't be long. And he gets out of bed and sort of gets dressed and sorts his hair and all of that. Before too long, is ready to head downstairs with you.
Then she'll just open the door, say after you, and then go down with him.
He gives a little sort of sardonic smile and dips his head, and then he heads out.
Would they notice Arthur peeking out the door, watching them?
Make a stealth check, I guess.
That is...
Oh, wrong character sheet.
13.
Okay.
Does their passive perception beat that?
Not Bryn's. I don't know about Eurus.
No, not yours is either.
I'm disappointed.
It almost beat it. Almost. No, she almost beat it, but she's got a 12, unfortunately.
Eurus is perfectly unaware and is just heading down the hall.
And so is Bryn.
Seeing them together, Arthur will decide to save his ambush for later.
I'm excited.
Alrighty. Are you heading downstairs fairly soon after that then, Orphan? Or
Actually, he's going to talk to Grubbs.
okay.
Clubs is doing morning stretches.
Yeah, Grubbs.
Yes, Rafid?
I think there's something a little fishy going on with that Eurus fellow.
The way he does keep exploding in splats of blood is a bit disconcerting. Is that what you mean?
No, something far more sinister, I fear.
Oh no.
I think he might be keeping something from us.
Do you think we should find out what it is?
I think that would be wise. I'm going to ask Bryn and see if anything funny happened during the night. But I want to catch her alone. Is there any chance you could distract Eurus so I could have a chance to talk to her?
Yes, that might work. Yes, we can try that.
Thank you. I'm sure.
When are we going to do it?
Well, there's no time like the present. If something fishy is going on, I'd rather know before we get into any more bother.
Yes, that definitely seems wise.
Well,
let's go.
Yes.
All right. Okay.
I'm so looking forward to this.
Farron, just out of interest, where are you right now? Have you gone downstairs or?
Yeah, she's probably kind of rolled out of bed last and she's nursing a hangover.
Yeah.
Kind of just too busy with that, but she's happy to see everyone.
Nice. All right. And Grimsby, have you surfaced yet or?
Grimsby will surface, yes.
Okay. So you're all downstairs. Oh, sorry. Were you about to say something?
No, he'll just wait till there's a lull to let everyone know
Mhm.
the news.
Orphan and Grubbs, you make your way down into the tavern proper.
Orphan would let Grubbs go first to begin his distraction.
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Morning.
Did you sleep well?
Morning.
Oh yes, it was quite nice and cozy.
Very good, very good.
Eurus, you've been this way before. Do you think it's worth looking over at the map to check that we know we're going in the right direction?
I mean, sure.
Yes,
I
let's
mean,
do that. Yes.
Oh,
He'll
all
get
right.
his
All right.
atlas out and sort of pull up a chair next to Eurus and sit down and
Okay.
open up the atlas.
Oh, all right.
He will open it at a random page and start saying,
So where are we?
Oh, this isn't right, Grubs.
Are you sure? This looks like where we were the other day.
I don't think so. Look, let me have a little. And he flicks through a few pages.
Oh, is it this page?
No, just if you just and he'll try to gently take the atlas over a little and start trying to flick through pages a bit more quickly.
Oh, what, there. Did he? I think he passed it.
Oh, no, I don't think I did. Listen, there must be a contents page or something, and he'll move to go to the very front of the book. To have a
Aren't they
look
usually at the back?
I don't think so. Perhaps in Inyas, but in Nuwen, it's no, not really. Could I?
Gubbs sort of waves behind his back at Orphan.
Okay, Orphan, you have your
during
chance.
That, Orphan would go up to Bryn and say, Bryn!
Morning.
Could you come give me a hand checking the old clopper?
Me? Do you mean a horse? Do you mean the horse?
Yes? Yes?
Oh.
What else could I
Oh, well.
What else could I possibly been referring to? What I said, would you be able to come and check out the old clopper?
Oh,
I mean-
Clopper!
Can't you? You know how I feel about horses.
Well, make sure the wagon's secure as well. Come on, let's go. Yes, let's.
If you absolutely insist.
Oh, I do.
Excuse me, everyone. I will be right back. And she'll follow him wherever he goes.
Arthur will make his way to where the wagon is at.
Mm-hmm.
He's gonna go. When they get to the wagon, they say, "Perhaps we should just make sure that the inside's still there."
Orson, are you all right? Did you? I didn't think that dwarves really got hungover.
Hmm?
Huh?
That's an interesting question. Well, yes, it happens quite a lot actually. Dwarves are known drinkers. It's just, well, the quality of the drink. It's not the highest outside of the settlements. It would take quite a lot to have that kind of effect on me.
So,
Here, why don't
did
we
you have a
check
lot to
the
drink?
inside? And he,
Well, I'm certain it's still there, Orson.
just
but
to make sure. Just to make sure.
what is this?
He jumps up and
She'll go
opens it.
inside.
Now, Bryn, now that we're inside the wagon, I'm gonna be honest
Yes?
with you.
Oh, finally, what?
I think I've noticed that there's something fishy going on.
Fishy? Fishy? She looks kind of quite concerned.
Regarding your little friend.
Which one? Grimsby? Or Eurus? Or you? Or who? Which one?
Eurus. Tell me.
Eurus?
Was there any funny business last night?
Orson, what are you insinuating?
Did he do anything strange? Perhaps in the night?
Orthin, you cannot ask somebody that. That is incredibly private and
What?
Orthin, that is so unbelievably rude.
What? I'm just looking out for you. I just want to make sure that we're all safe.
He's not some kind of rampant sex fiend, Orthin. What the hell are you implying?
What? Excuse me?
Wait, what were you talking about?
What are you talking about?
No. She looks like she seems flushed and flustered, and she goes, No. You brought it up. What were you talking about?
He was acting all shifty last night. I thought he was keeping a secret. What are you talking about?
Oh, God. I know what this is. Fine. You know what? There's no point keeping it quiet anymore. Orthin, I'm going to be very honest with you.
All right.
Eurus and I are lovers, okay? Eurus and I are lovers. That is it. That is all that's happening. And Grimsby found out, and now it seems like everybody else has found out. And...
All right, then.
Wait. Is that it?
Well, I'm kind of guessing that perhaps that was why he was acting so shifty last night.
Was he acting shifty? I didn't notice.
Love. Young love.
Oh. That. Such a stupid bastard. Not you, She just kind of sighs. But does that satisfy your concern, Orthin?
Oh, yes, I know I'm satisfied.
I'm not going to ask what that means because no, frankly, I'm slightly. I think that this conversation went in a direction that I just did not anticipate, and I think that we're best just leaving this here between us.
So everyone knows, except Grubs.
Well, I thought everybody did know, but evidently, if you didn't know, then I assume Grubs doesn't know.
I don't think Grubs knows.
Oh.
Would you prefer to keep it that way?
Well, I don't exactly want to be. I really don't want to be explaining my intimate relations with everybody all the time, as I have of late.
Oh, things like that. I can only. I owe you. Really, I owe you an apology. I didn't realize it was a matter of the heart. I was just trying to. I was concerned for everybody's well-being. But no. I can understand that such a plight. Love does have a way of warming my old heart. And I can see that you are entitled to your privacy on such matters. But there's one thing you should know.
Yes?
I enlisted his help to ask you about my suspicions regarding yours, so he will be expecting some kind of answer back about that.
Well, I will think of a way. I'll think of something.
Unless he's forgotten already.
That is also a very good point. But on the point of your apology, there is none needed. I can understand how it may look if you do not have the context. So You are forgiven. But next time, there's no need to lure me into the back of a wagon and ask me such questions. It's okay to just ask me outside of the inn.
Well, I was just thinking that, I don't want to make sure that private conversations remain private. But yes, I will bear that in mind for the future.
Well, thank you.
Shall we head back in?
Yes, but one more thing. I just wanted to say, just so that you're aware, Eurus does have a good heart, deep down. I know that he comes across how he comes across, but he's got a good heart, okay? You needn't worry so much. And then she'll get out of the cart. Shall we?
Orthan, at that, just kind of smiled at her at that little outburst and was like,
she kind of smiles back, but she kind of does that scowly shake her head as well, like, oh god.
Yes, I'm sure he does. Alright, let's go.
Well, I'm flattered that everyone is so caring of each other. But yes, let's go have breakfast.
Okay. All right. In the meantime, has anyone been up to much? Grubs, have you just been continuing to?
Yep.
Yeah.
Are you sure that's the right type of forest? The trees look slightly different. I'm sure they're not what we were passing.
Grubs, I'm telling you, please listen. At this point, Orthan and Bryn, you're coming in and you see a somewhat dismayed-looking Eurus, hair slightly awry, bent over this atlas and, jabbing his finger on the pages and being like, Grubs, I'm telling you, this isn't the place. Just let me take this and let me look.
If Grubbs sees Bryn and Orphan coming in, he'll wait until they've approached the table and then say, yes, no, I think you're right after all. And he'll snatch the atlas back and then sort of shuffle away towards Orphan and grab Orphan by the arm and sort of head off into a corner so we can discuss findings.
Right, I don't think he suspected a thing. What did you get?
Yes, I...
What is he up to?
I don't know. I'm afraid. I don't think... I was just wanting to check in with Bryn to see if anything fishy happened last night, but as far as I'm aware, it was a quiet night in there.
We'll have to try another method then.
Yes, perhaps we should go for the stealthy approach. Why don't you watch Eurus like a hawk?
I think I can manage that.
Keep your eye on him. At all times, yes. Just to make sure.
Yes. Grubbs is sort of nodding enthusiastically.
Does Bryn see this?
Orthan, are you trying to keep this from Bryn?
He's not trying to keep it from Bryn specifically. If she did a perception, she would probably get it without much difficulty.
Okay, make a perception roll for me, Bryn.
She rolled pretty high. She got a unnatural 20. So I assume that she can just see them plotting and scheming in the corner.
Yes. And you can sort of catch some bits of conversation as well. You hear, keep an eye on Eurus. And you hear Grub sort of making noises and confirmation. Yes.
She will elbow Grimsby if she's next to him. And she will point to them in the corner and say, well, I just got accosted in a wagon by Orthan. And I think I'll explain later, but she'll look at Eurus. We need to find a way to explain to Grubbs what's going on, I think. And Orthan, because I don't know if he's got it.
What about you and Loverboy?
Yes.
Right.
Did Eurus hear Grubbs call him Loverboy?
Wait, that's a good point.
He would have tried to whisper it to her.
Eurus is going to make a perception check nonetheless, because he will be trying to eavesdrop. Because he's not polite. But he rolled badly, so he does not hear it. Unfortunately for us all.
Good.
I would metagame and roleplay Bryn going, don't call him that for God's sakes, but she's not going to, because I'm not going to metagame.
Excellent.
So yeah, she will just look at everybody and be tea anyone? Should we just wait? Well, I suppose that's Grubb's job.
Just
Yes.
tell Grubbs that not Orthan, that Eurus was having a bad stomach or something. Or just tell him the truth. I don't think he's really going to mind.
I just had to explain to Orthan, and I don't know if I can do 2 in one day.
You want me to try and explain it?
No.
Yeah, I didn't think so.
Oh well, we'll figure something out. Yes.
You say so.
And she'll just keep staring at them, and she'll be massaging her temple with her right hand, oh god.
The appropriate reaction. All right. Grubbs, Orthan, you eventually, I assume, come on back to the table.
Mhm.
And you all have your breakfast. It seems that breakfast is part of the room. Like you get it along with the room.
Okay.
It's not much. It's a bowl of porridge and a warm drink for you all. But it's something.
Over breakfast, Grimsby will try and get everyone's attention.
Mhm.
So, I spoke to our old friend last night, and I've got a good lead for us. Apparently, and also another just check around. There's no one new here other than the people that were here last night, or is there new people?
There is no one here apart from the innkeep.
Fine then.
Mhm.
All right. Yes. There's an inn called the Golden Trout, and apparently, if we show up and say something along the lines of "We've been having bad nightmares," then they will assume that we're part of the entourage of our friend, and they might be able to give us some more information. This does mean that we might have to keep up a cover of being dreamless or something like that.
Interesting. Well, thank you very much.
Not to worry. He was very obliging, actually.
Well, that's a bit weird.
Yes. If it does turn out he was lying to us, then we'll make sure he doesn't do it again.
And take away his library privileges.
Exactly. But yes, that's all I have to say. I think we're off to a good start. We'll hit Minear Bay with on the ground running, whatever the phrase is.
And thankfully, we know where it is now.
Vaguely.
Yes. Thankfully, we have a good idea of where it is. Eurus
Let's hope it
says,
hasn't moved.
looking praised. I doubt it. I somehow very much doubt it.
They
strange
sometimes
how
do
things happen.
that over time. A lot more time, to be honest, but over time, settlements do move a bit. There's one near me that, when I was a young boy, it was barely there at all. But then, when I was older and leaving, it had spread to the south and moved a bit.
The
Interesting.
entire continent?
No, just a village.
Oh. Well, good for them.
They're quite nice people. Sort of pioneers, as well. It's one of the first human villages in the valley.
Oh, really? What? How did their village move? Did they just pick it up?
Well, I think there was a flood one year, and they ended up rebuilding things a little further away from a river.
A human settlement in the Inyas Valley, Ibran Valley.
At least there is in the rough backstory I wrote for Grubs. I don't know how accurate that is to be as I was actual imaginings of the valley, but
Yeah.
yep.
It's canon.
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember the name of the valley that's in.
Grubs would have just called it the Vale. I think that's what he always called it.
Yeah. Okay. I cannot find my map of Inuast at the moment. The Vale. The Vale. There we go.
Well, good for them. But at least now we kind of have a lead we can start with. However, I think we should probably decide now whether we want to pretend to be the Dreamless or if we want to just, try and get our information from that innkeeper as, violently as possible. References?
Well, perhaps he would need to contact somebody else, and maybe he wouldn't do that if he thinks he's going to get beaten up. So perhaps subterfuge and deception is a way to go.
You're speaking my language, Grubs. Are we all okay with deception?
I think so.
Wonderful.
When the time comes for it, I can be very... What's the word? Stealthy.
Bryn's going to look at him.
Grubs was doing the
And
same.
Yes, I can be as well. Look at this.
And Grubs will sort of point to the other side of the table, and before looking to see if anyone's actually looked, he will try to hide under the table and stealth check. Yeah, actually got a 14 for stealth.
Does he hide?
Okay.
Does he crawl back into his shell?
No, he just tries to go under the table, which, considering he's a sort of 6 foot tall tortoise with a huge shell on his back, he probably knocks the table or something.
He does.
You're back. Remember your back.
Oh,
Be careful.
yes. The tables are a bit different in Enyast. You can't drop things under them.
Ah, I see. Oh well, we have our destination. We've had our breakfast. Do we want to head off?
Yes.
I think we may as well set off, yes.
Wonderful.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, you go outside after having your breakfast and getting your things together, and you go ready your horse and cart. As you're doing so, Eurus is sort of just telling you that it's a 4-day journey from Frogmorton to Minear Bay, so it's a little bit of a trek.
Grubs seems to be hanging off his every word and keeping a very close eye on him.
Okay. All right, and you all head off. You head through Frogmorton, and it's sort of I don't know. Jane, you've not played Skyrim, so I don't think this will make sense to you. But for those who have, Morthal.
Mm-hmm.
Like
Yeah.
this, it's like this dreary village in this swamp.
It's
That
the
has a lot
ugliest
of-
village.
It is the ugliest village, and there's a lot of like coarse grass growing, and you're walking along and you see like dark, thorny plants and things like that. All these houses sort of crammed together, made of this dark wood.
Yeah.
You pass on through, and you continue on your way. For the next couple of days, it's a pretty uneventful journey. Uncharacteristically uneventful, you'd go so far to say. The landscape remains quite the same as you're going along. It's quite flat. There's some sort of like marshland. It reminds you a little bit of Eben, actually. as you see the bogs and things either side of the road. Towards the evening of the second day, you think you get a clue as to why it's so quiet on this road. As you're heading along, you pass a small troop of soldiers. They appear to all be wearing the same uniform. It's a sort of half plate made of a golden metal with these, like, you can see teal fabric sort of connecting bits of their armor together. And one of them at the front of the troop bears a standard. It's a golden sun on a blue background. You would all recognize to be the Crown Force that are based in Athol, the capital of Nuwen. So yes, they sort of give you a little nod as they see you, but they pass on by and otherwise don't really pay you much heed. And you all continue onward.
What that was about.
Maybe they're just patrolling with all this talk of shadow nightmares and whatever else. I suppose they're just keeping an eye on things.
Well, good for them.
On the third day of travel, you eventually come across a tower. You can see it looming in the distance, kind of stretching up into the sky. Looking past it, you can see a few miles away another, and another. And it seems that there's like a series of watchtowers set up along the road. You continue on, and you see these as you're walking along all the way until you finally reach what you assume to be Menare Bay. You sort of come to the top of this hill, and you look down, and ahead of you, you see a glittering blue ocean. There's a fork of land that comes off on the mainland. You assume that's the peninsula that Eurus has mentioned. And gathered on the peninsula and stretching a ways up the coast, you see the twin cities of Menare Bay. It is, in fact, large, many times larger than Wyvernview. You just see buildings clustered together. Grimsby, you notice and recognize from your vision a sort of pearly domed roof and these tall spires climbing into the air. You all continue following the road, and you can see as you get closer that there only appears to be one main road into Menare Bay, as opposed to Wyvernview, where you had a bunch of roads that kind of led to it with a number of gates. There's this massive wall surrounding the city, many times higher than the one that enclosed Wyvernview. And then there's this one large gate that the road leads up to. By the time you've reached Menare Bay, for the record, for anyone who's keeping note, it's Liz Day, the 25th of Redfall. And you arrive in like the early morning.
Nice.
So you all begin heading up closer to the city. Before too long, you've begun to reach the walls. They're made of these huge blocks of white sandstone that are almost seamlessly stacked, like built together. And the gates are flung open. They're made of like a heavy wood, wrought with iron, and people are just flooding through them going into the city.
Busy.
Sorry, I'm getting my map to hand. Okay.
The people coming into the city, do they look like tradespeople and farmers and things bringing goods? Or
Make a perception check.
5.
5. You look around at all these people, and just like the sheer number of them is like overwhelming. But you get the sense that the people here are from just all walks of life. Looking around, you see like dwarves, halflings, elves, and some creatures that even you grubs have not encountered before, even over in Inyaz. And they're old, they're young, they're everything in between. It seems that a little bit of everyone in the world has somehow wound up at Minear Bay.
Would Grubbs have been in a city of a similar size on his travels before, or was this the first time experience?
You've probably been in the capital of Leyland before, I would say. At the very least, Athol. That's probably the largest city you've been in, but this is larger.
Okay.
Okay. Are you all heading on in?
Yeah.
Okay. There's a couple of guards sort of lazily standing by the gate as you all approach. They don't seem to pay you much heed. They just give you like a cursory look over. There are stranger creatures here than most of you. Admittedly, a turtle is perhaps a little strange, but other than that, they don't seem too interested. So you all wander in without any problems, and you are finally in the Twin Cities. You look around, and it seems that this place is just a strange hodgepodge of everything. There are buildings of heavy grey stone, reminiscent of ones that you've seen in Eben. But then there are also these buildings made of a paler sandstone. And a lot of these have sort of spires and domes and sort of fluted pillars that you've not really seen in Eben. It seems that there's a weird mixture of architectural styles here that's kind of reflected by all the people you see. In Eben, it was fairly, you had humans, you had elves, you had halflings. Many of them born and bred in Nuwen itself, but here you're seeing people who look like they might hail from Ashapor, quite a number of those, in fact. Sort of like brown-skinned humans. You see a lot more elves. You also see the odd tiefling. Who's got the highest passive perception?
Grubbs has 13. I don't know how high that is compared to everyone else's.
Higher than 11.
Space. Higher than 0 or 10.
Okay. Grubbs, as you're going along, you even notice a couple of they're almost human, but many quite a bit larger, like 7-8 feet tall, very well muscled, and they've got horns kind of curving out from their head. Not like a tiefling, but like broad, almost bull-like horns. And you also see some sort of cat person. This you are familiar with. Quite a few of them live in Inyast. This is a tabaxi.
Does Grubbs know what the horned people are?
Make a history check or a nature check, maybe.
I'll do a history check.
Okay.
That's a 6.
You don't know. You have no idea. You've never seen one before, either Inyast or Nuwen.
Intriguing.
As you all enter, Eurus sort of looks around at the city and then looks to all of you and says, well, I suppose we should start by getting a feel for this place. As I said, I've been here, but it was a while ago now, and things have probably changed.
Yeah, it would do good to have a little scope of the land.
Mhm.
Maybe find a place to stay for tonight as well.
Mm.
Do we all want to head off on our own, or should we all stick in groups? Or one big group?
Whatever
We should
pleases
probably-
everyone.
To get lost.
We should
Yeah,
probably
very
find somewhere that we can at least have as a meeting point before we do split up if we are going to do that.
That's a good idea. Are there any nice-looking inns around Eurus?
The nicest one I know of is probably the Candle Hearth Hall. It's over on the Arran side, though. It's a little bit of a walk.
Do they have fermented berries?
They probably do. They probably have just about everything.
I'm in.
Well, that's that.
That's that.
And it is early morning still, we have plenty of time.
Very true.
The day is yet young.
Also very true.
And it would give us an opportunity to see more of the city if we travel a little further through it.
Aye, we may as well then.
Shall we?
Are you all just heading over in the direction of Candle Hearth Hall, or?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We
Okay.
will, keep a lookout, see if we pass anything interesting.
All right. Okay, so you head along. Most of the buildings are like crammed really closely together. There are these sort of spidery alleyways that go skittering off between the buildings. There's clotheslines strung between windows, and you can see like colored fabric flapping in the breeze as you make your way through the city. The first thing that you come across of interest is a large circular building with a domed roof. It's got tiny windows kind of clustered very high up on the walls, and these grand doors. And the entire building is sort of painted this deep blue with kind of curving lines of gold working their way like over the brickwork. You're passing that and looking. You're walking in a directions. Arran is like the eastern. It's the peninsula. So you're heading kind of in an southeastern direction through the city. But in the northern part, you can see another tall building. You can't really get a good look at it from here, but it's an octagonal structure that reaches quite high into the air. From here, you can't see any windows, but you can see that the sides of the building are all covered in elaborate paintings. Continuing on, you begin to catch the scent of spices, of cooking food, of perfumes. And you see ahead of you, there's this giant dilapidated wall that's sort of crumbling in on itself, made again of this pale sandstone. And a little ways beyond it, kind of parts of it in the shade of this bridge, this wall, sorry, there is a marketplace. It's quite large, and it's sort of staggered along beside the docks. And there's sort of awnings of all different colours, and just tents and stalls just set up everywhere. Eurus leads you past that and takes you more in a southerly direction. You pass more ships than you can even count, tethered to the docks, and people kind of bustling about, walking up and down There appear to be like fishermen and sailors and all manner of people. After a while, you come to a large, sweeping, glittering river. Oh, sorry, 1 second. Yeah, it's like a dark greenish blue color and glittering in the sunlight. And in the middle of it, almost appearing to float in the water, although you know that cannot be the case, is a giant marble building that's reached by a wide bridge made of white sandstone. This building is maybe the most impressive you've seen so far. It's again made of pure white marble, and it has this monumental portico that stretches up into the sky, carved with floral decorations and motifs of birds and grapes. It's supported by slender fluted columns and that are capped with capitals, decorated with leaves and scrolls. And outside, you see a large wooden sign that displays in a curling, luminescent font the Menair Bell. Years lead you past this across the bridge. And before too long, you come to what he introduces as Candlehearth Hall. It's a rather unusual looking building. It's longer than it is wide, and the facade of the building is made of heavy grey stonework that's been carved into like a triangular shape. And you can see that there are 2 dark wooden doors leading into the building at the top of a couple short flights of stairs. So he comes to a stop outside of this, and he says, well, this is the place. Shall we leave our things here?
May as well, yes.
It's quite nice.
Yeah. Pretty fancy.
Okay, he leads you all inside. Yep. And inside, it's really very pleasant. It's I keep tabbing out the dock I need. There we are. It's warm and cozy, and you can see beams sort of on the stretching across the ceiling. The second you step inside, you're struck by the smell of cooking food. On your left, set into a small recess in the wall, is a little bar that has a couple of stools, and there's a woman behind it who gives you like a little bit of a surly look, actually, as you head in. Maybe she's just tired, you assume. Straight ahead of you is a corridor, and from way down at the bottom of that, you can smell food cooking. And then on your right, there's a set of stairs leading upwards. And from up those stairs, you can hear like a couple of voices chatting and some music being played. Yeah.
That surly look, was it directed at Eurus?
Not as far as you could tell. It was just she just generally looks a little bit miserable.
See.
I can relate.
Vibe.
That's what service does to you.
I think Farron will kind of give the surly woman like an up and down, and then kind of be interested in the music upstairs. So I think I'll have her just kind of run upstairs and kind of see what's going on, like music-wise, because she's a nerd.
That's fair. All right, you head on upstairs. And going upstairs, you find yourself in a large, spacious room with tables and chairs and large semicircle windows set in the thick stone walls at either end of the room. It looks like this room takes up like the entirety of the space of the building, if that makes sense. The downstairs was separated into the bar area and then the corridor and all the rooms leading off from this. But this just takes up all of the space. There are little niches in the walls with candles in tall iron wrought holders. And in the center of the room, there is a large hearth that's set within like a pillar of stone that reaches upwards towards the ceiling. And on its mantle sits a lone flickering candle. You quickly locate the source of the music. There is a bard in the far left corner of the room. It looks to be a halfling with a mess of brown curls who is playing a panpipe.
My guy.
Mhm.
Oh god, I don't know what to do. I don't know, she's quite impressed. I kind of have her like kind of just observed with the bard, not noticing her, kind of watching.
Yeah.
Then eventually she kind of gets the courage to kind of walk up and kind of ask what he's playing and ask if she can sort of just join in, I guess.
Yeah. So you head up. They're not on a stage or anything like that. They're just sort of playing in a little corner of the room. And as you approach and ask what they're playing, they pause for a moment and they look you up and down and give you a little grin. And they say, "Oh, just something I'm working on. You know how it is." Make a persuasion check.
A persuasion check, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Let me just find persuasion on my sheet.
It'll be in your charisma section.
There we go, okay. I roll my d20. So I rolled a 7 and it'll be +3.
Okay.
So 10.
Okay. They sort of look you up and down and their lips kind of twitch a little at the corners and they say, "Well, maybe you can join me a little later. I'll see how I'm feeling." And they, with a cheeky grin, go back to playing their panpipes.
She gives her a cheeky grin back and is kind of like, fair enough. And kind of just goes back to join the others.
Nice. In the meantime, what have you folks all been doing downstairs?
Probably asking for rooms, I imagine.
Yeah. Yeah.
And also, what have we done with the car? I assume we just haven't left it in the middle of the street.
That's a good thought.
Gubbs would probably have stayed outside to see to the horses then, if there's a stable or anything. Or
Yeah.
I don't know if there's a stable attached to the inn, or if you'd have to go find a designated stable.
The inn has its own stable.
Okay. Gubbs would see if he could house the horses there then.
Yeah, you certainly can, with no bother whatsoever. The stable hand working this one is a little bit more helpful than the one in Frogmorton. He takes the reins from you and sort of leads the horses in and helps you get them all settled.
Now, these horses have just had quite a long journey, so do you know any way I could get a treat for them?
Best place might be, I don't know, maybe a stall in the market, or I don't know. There's a good greengrocer's near that way, I think. You wanted some carrots?
Oh, I'm sure that would be a perfect treat for them. Yes, I will keep an eye out for that. Thank you very much.
And Gubbs would give him a silver coin as a tip.
Oh, he looks very surprised. Thank you. He pockets it. And as you leave, you see that he's like kind of patting the flank of one of your horses, and he's sort of murmuring to it. And yeah, you feel you've left your horse in capable hands.
Excellent.
Okay. As for rooms, the innkeep looks your party over and says, "I think we should have about enough room. How many rooms you needing anyway?"
Well, how much is a room?
2 gold.
How many beds are in these rooms?
most we have left twins and doubles, I think. Yeah, and she's like kind of flicking through a ledger.
How do we want to divvy it up? I assume 3 doubles or twins, whichever
Twins
ones.
would-
I mean, you know what I mean.
Well,
A room with 2 beds in it.
A twin will do me fine.
Yes, I can work with a twin room, I guess. I assume Orthan and Grub's in one room?
Yes, that's.
Yes, I think we've gotten used to each other's snoring by now.
Perfect.
I
Sign
don't
of true
snore.
friendship.
Do I snore?
I'm sure. I thought the doors were legendary for shaking the mountains with their snores.
Oh,
If that is true, then you certainly do your people proud.
I suppose I do.
You should all go.
Oh, you should hear your own snores. You know what they sound
Oh.
like?
Yes, my wife used to complain about them all the time. I thought it would mine a little more nasal than that.
Oh God!
Boys, please, boys.
It must be noted that the woman behind the bar is wearing a very unamused and very unimpressed facial expression.
Grimsby gives her an apologetic smile.
Grubs will give her a
Alright.
cheeky grin.
Bad grass.
She does not acknowledge it.
All right, so you 2 in a room. Bryn, how would you like your room to be?
I suppose we should save some money. She'll look at Grimsby kind of sheepishly, but then she'll look to Grubbs and she'll say quite conspicuously, "A double for Eurus and I. A double, not a twin, a double."
All right, and then a double for me and Farron, I suppose. If you don't mind, Farron.
No, sure.
Don't snore, I promise.
I do.
Oh, wonderful.
No, I'm kidding. Totally kidding.
All right.
So 3 doubles, please.
Well, a twin,
Oh.
isn't it? For
3 twins. I don't know which one means which, I won't lie.
twin is 2 single beds, and then a double is a double bed.
That makes sense. Okay, 3 twins, please.
Bryn actually smiles at that, but it's not what she wanted, but she's just not going to say anything.
All right. That'll be 6 gold then.
Grimsby looks at the others.
A gold each, then, everyone?
Sounds
Yeah.
reasonable.
That makes sense.
Okay. You all put in your gold, which she takes, and she gives you keys. It seems that there are multiple keys for the rooms rather than one, so you each have your own key to your
Ooh.
respective rooms, and they've got little like tags on them with the number of the room on as well.
Oh. All right. So we've got our rooms. Do we want to? What time of day is it?
It's morning. It's like 10 a.m., something like that.
We've got our rooms. Do we want to have little mosey around?
Oh, wrong. Sorry. Go on.
Well,
shame.
I have been seeking a, what was it? Maybe some new armor?
That sounds like a good shout.
Mm.
I'll just go wherever. Probably best if we all stick together. We may as well just head it wherever we've got a home,
Yeah.
if that suits other people.
Sticking together sounds like a good idea.
Right. So first stop, some armor.
Yes, Eurus, you
Oh.
know the city.
Yes, I think I know where we can find some.
It's got to be something I like.
Oh yes. Down near the market, that's where most of the shops are. So we can head down there and have a look.
Okay.
Okay. Before you do, however, the DM is going to pop to the bathroom. So I will be right back.
That's
Just
very
give me
good timing. I have just had my.
Oh, lovely. Okie dokie. Bear with me just a couple of minutes. I will be right back.
I will go to it.
I'm just gonna chill here.
Same.
Ooh, do you think we're gonna go to magic shops?
Is Grubs keeping an eye on Eurus?
He
God.
would be, yes.
Sorry, excuse me. I'll just.
Someone tell that old man what's going on.
Yeah, Arthur didn't mean to do that. He just kind of panicked and was like, he realized that he needed to tell Grubs something.
I support it. I do.
Oh, Grubs has got
it's-
plans. Grubs has plans.
I think, to be honest, I think that Bryn's going to purposely kind of avoid it because she just doesn't want to tell Grubs that she has sex. Like, it's just something she doesn't want to say. You know what I mean?
Your grandpa that.
Oh, God. She's like, it's just one time, you guys. Everyone's just now like, oh. Oh, man. I'm looking
I
forward
will
to the
say
plans.
That the impression, Orphan was not given the impression that it was one time.
Yeah, I don't think she was very good at giving that impression. She was pretty blindsided by that. She was just like, what do I say to this? Oh, well.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's not every day a old bearded codger corners you in a tight space.
Yeah, she was
I
just like,
phrased
okay.
that strangely.
I loved it. I absolutely adored the way that went. It was so funny because Bryn was just like, is he implying? Because it sounded like he was implying that Eurus was like a predator. At least that's what Bryn got from it because of the way he said it.
No, I had been thinking about how to like phrase the questions.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I did well.
You did very well.
Success.
Bryn was thoroughly, just absolutely out of her depth. She did not know how to respond to those questions, and that is exactly what you want.
Yes.
Hello, I am back.
Hello.
Are we waiting on Jane still?
Yes.
Okay. It's fine.
We're just talking about the scene in the wagon.
Ah, yes. It was very good. Oh, very good indeed.
I genuinely don't know how I managed to not lose my shit completely whilst trying to roleplay that.
Oh.
Right, I'm settled again.
Very nice.
Probably will mute myself intermittently until I'm required to roleplay.
That's fine. That's fine, of course.
But not yet, because I love the small talk.
What did you get?
Oh, I just keep ordering the same thing. Like a mint chocolate milkshake and like Chipotle fries with cheese.
You're so smart.
God, I wish that were me.
Milkshake.
God,
and
I-
fries.
I just gotta do it.
Wait,
That's tasty.
Were you?
Are you putting the fries in the milkshake?
Babe.
It's a good
Lindsay.
idea. It's a good idea. That's all I'm saying.
Babe, why are you embarrassing me again? I can't take you anywhere.
No, Lindsay's right. It is a good
No.
mix.
Stop it.
Man, back in high school, I used to get a tuna roll for lunch, and I'd get some flapjack as well.
Mm.
Okay.
Flapjack.
And then I would put the tuna roll in the No, I'd put the flapjack in the tuna roll.
I can't stand by that one, I'm afraid.
Lindsay, that does sound just a little bit like
Horrific.
unhinged.
It was good.
Anyway,
Are you sure?
no, I cannot allow this conversation to continue.
I liked it.
I hate this.
Precision over.
Charles is. Well, we'll begin to work our way down to the blacksmith anyway, because I somehow don't think Grubbs will be needing anything from there. Okay. Oh my god, where is that? Okay. Yes, I have so many pages of prep, but at what cost? Okay, right. The cost is I can't find anything ever.
It's a curse and a blessing.
It really is. Okay. Yes. All right. So, you all leave Adelharth Hall, and Eurus leads you back across the river. You pass the Menere Bell again, and he takes you through the winding streets back in the direction of the market that you saw next to the docks. He takes you in amongst like the maze of alleys winding through the buildings in this area, and he's sort of looking around, and after a while begins to look a little bit troubled, but doesn't say anything. And after a little while of walking, looks relieved, and gestures with an open palm towards a blacksmith. And he kind of smiles, looking a little self-satisfied, and says, I knew this was somewhere around here. Well, shall we?
By all means.
This blacksmith is quite a small little building. It's like tucked away amidst all these other closely packed, unevenly sized buildings. Like, it all looks a bit higgledy-piggledy in this part of town. This has brought you a little closer to that octagonal building you saw before. That probably is just like a few minutes walk away now, whereas before you were quite a ways from it.
Grimsby, ask Eurus what the octagonal building is.
Yes. Eurus looks out towards it, and he says, that is the Theotus. It's the main temple, really. A temple to the Prime Pantheon.
Oh, fun.
It's quite an impressive building.
It's all right. I've seen bigger.
Yes, well. There are murals on each side, just from foot to the roof.
For the
Covered in it.
gods.
Yes. All 8 of them.
No.
We should see it while we're here.
If you insist.
Not a fan of the gods?
We don't have much in common.
Fair enough. Surely you can appreciate art, though.
Now that I can appreciate. Valuable, valuable art.
Well, shall we? And he will kind of hold the door open for you all to the blacksmith. It's quite sparsely decorated in here. And it kind of... there's like some smoke in the air. And you can see mounted on the walls there are various weapons, and there's suits of armor about. As you come in, a human woman kind of looks up at you from behind a counter and gives you all a smile. Hello. Welcome to Efrix's Armory. Let me know if you need any help with anything. Are you all just... Oh, sorry.
Oh, sorry. I was just saying Grimsby's going to look at Bryn.
Mm-hmm. Oh, well, I was, well, as you can see, this horrendous thing that I'm wearing is in need of an upgrade, and I was wondering if you have anything studded, like somewhat like my fellow elven companion here, just something that light and studded and, well, promotes flexibility and is as, I don't know, anything well-fitted, perhaps?
Oh, I'm sure we have some studded armor somewhere. Just bear with me. And bear with me 1 second. Okay. Yes, all right. So she sort of heads over to a corner of the room, where you can see that there appears to be more like light armor, like there's leather and there's padded. You see a couple of like shirts of quite thin looking metal. And then eventually she kind of points out a set to you of studded leather armor. And says, "Is this the kind of thing you were looking for?"
What does it look like?
It's quite dark. It's mostly the leather's been kind of dyed, like some of it anyway has been dyed black, and then a lot of it's been left with like its natural dark brown color. And then it has like these dull studs of metal set into it. It's not particularly fancy, but it looks, I mean, it looks like new, you know what I mean? It looks in good condition. Yeah.
Bryn
Looks
will...
cool, Bryn. You should try it.
She will look at it and inspect it, and she will look back to Farron. Well, it's certainly, it's certainly an improvement. What's the fit like? Is it? Would you make adjustments if I was to purchase this?
Of course, if adjustments need to be made, we'd be more than happy to.
Okay. Then yes, I will try it on, see what it's like.
Of course. And she sort of directs your attention to like some sort of like curtained off area you assume for like changing in. And she hands you the armor. Just let me know if you need any help with any of the fastenings or anything.
Oh, I will be sure to. And then she will go try to put it on and probably call for help for the fastenings.
Yep. Before too long. Yeah, before too long you got into it. It fits you pretty well already. You think like a couple of small adjustments might need to be made, but yeah.
Bryn will just say, yes, it's just a little, I think it might end up pinching a little bit here and here, so we might need to take that bit a little bit, I don't know. You know more than I do, but you know what I mean? It just needs taking in here, I think. And
yes, she sort of like looks you over and she kind of measures some bits of it with some like tape. And says, "I think you might be right. Well, we'll fix that for you. It's no additional charge. We just we'll throw it in."
Oh, wonderful. So, how much will this set me back?
About 70 gold for that.
Oh, 70? Do you have any boots that match? I quite like to have a full set, you know?
Yes, I'm sure we do somewhere. Bear with me. And she goes and she's sort of rummaging amongst all these pairs of boots. And she comes back with them and says, I could throw them in for another 5 gold.
Wonderful. Then we have a deal.
Perfect. I can make the adjustments and have them done by, probably by tomorrow.
Lovely. That would be. I'll come back to pick it up then.
Perfect. Okay. I will also make a note of that somewhere. Okay. Okay. Is anyone else looking for anything here? Or... Oh, sorry, we were going to say something.
I was just going to say I'm going to mute myself.
Oh.
Grimsby will be nice shields here.
Are you just having a look around, or are you getting the woman to show you any that she might have?
He'll ask her then. He'll say, do you have any shields for sale? Some nice ones?
Yes, we've got some. And she'll kind of show you a little selection of what they have. It seems that they've got quite a few wooden shields. There's one that's made of this quite dark, rich-looking wood that has all sort of carvings in it. There's a rather heavy-looking steel shield, and she shows it to you, and looking closer, you can see that it has runes etched into its surface. She shows you a couple that have like coats of arms painted on them that you don't recognize. And she just sort of says, when she looks at them, she's like, someone sold these to us, but we don't really know where they're from or what these coat of arms are or anything. But I think they're pretty.
They look very pretty.
And she shows you another shield that also has runes in, but it's quite like small and made of wood, unlike the other one, which is made of steel. And finally, she shows you one more made of wood, but it's got like gold inlay.
The one with the runes on it. Can Grimsby decipher what those runes are?
The steel one?
Yeah.
You can go ahead and make an Arcana check.
21.
Okay. You've probably come across this sort of thing before. They're runes of protection.
Mm-hmm.
They're not in any like sort of like language per se. They're just sort of like magical symbols. You assume that it gives the shield some sort of bonus.
Ooh. It's going to point at it. Does this one have any sort of extra qualities about it?
Yes, it's a little more resilient than your average shield. Gives a bit more, protects you a little better.
And do any of the other shields here have similar arcane properties?
Yes. And she will point out both of the shields with the coat of arms on them. And also the wooden shield with the runes laid into it. At that one and one of the shields of the coat of arms, one that has like a boar on it, she says these are the very best, very worth their money.
What do they do?
I will just say. So The steel shield that you were looking at with the runes of protection on, as well as one of the ones with the coat of arms on, they are both +1 shields.
Right.
The wooden shield with the runes of protection is a +4 shield
My God.
that has arrow deflection. And the other coat of arms one that she pointed out alongside this is also a +4 shield. Yes.
How much are these? He'll point to sort of the steel one and the one that's a +1 shield.
Okay.
How much are these?
To the steel one, she points and she says, "This will be about 1,200 gold."
Right.
And this one, and she points to the one with the coat of arms on. She says, "Probably I would sell it for the same, I think."
Right. Well, thank you for that. I might be back later. And Grim's just gonna be ready to leave whenever everyone else.
So cute, that gif. Oh my god.
Little face.
Perfect.
Oh, Grimsby will actually, sorry to take up so much time. Grimsby will go up to Eurus and say, Eurus, if I had some valuable items that I wanted to sell,
Mhm.
do you know anywhere? Do you have any connections that could sell those?
Depends on the kind of item. It's probably pawn shops about, or somewhere in the market might take them off your hands.
You could have a look around, yeah. Anywhere that would work with that.
Mm.
If nowhere. But he'll wait till other people go to places that they want to.
Okay. Is everyone finished up in the blacksmiths?
Mhm.
Okay. Where would you all like to head to?
If
I don't know
no
if
one
there's, like-
else... Oh, sorry.
Oh, sorry, no, I was just gonna say, like, I don't know there's, like, a music shop, but I'd literally just go there for a browse, like, I'm too poor to buy anything. I don't want to bore anyone else just walking around a music shop for no reason.
The
Bless
music
him.
shop is a very valid use of time. Um, oh. You can certainly have a look around for one. If you ask Eurus, he will tell you that he isn't very familiar with any music shops around here, as he himself is not a musician.
That's fine.
Um,
That's cool.
but he says we can always keep a lookout for one as we're going around.
Sure.
And if you're stuck for money, obviously we've got these goodies to sell off, and we can distribute the money after that, and you'll hold up all the stuff that they kind of got from temples or wherever, or goblin strongholds and all this stuff like that.
Yeah.
Oh,
If you can sell them for their full price, should be about 400-ish gold for the group.
it's not bad.
Pretty good if we can find
Yeah.
someone to buy them.
Mm. That's the challenge.
That's the challenge.
Well,
With that-
perhaps there's some individuals who may be interested
I'm sure
somewhere.
we could. You're connected to the seedy, foul people of the underbelly. Surely you can find someone.
Not around here, but there could be some people at the docks, perhaps, who might be interested.
You're an unsavourable person.
Oh, thank you.
Any idea?
I would probably start off at the market. I mean, you can probably find just about anything there, and they're probably willing to take just about anything off your hands.
Nice. Let's have a little look.
Okay. So you're all headed to
The horses have earned some snacks after their long journey.
a very nice thought.
Very smart.
Okay. So, are you all heading to the market then?
Yeah.
Yes.
Nice. Okay. So, Eurus takes you there. He also lets you know on the way that this market is known as the Four Winds Market.
Is there a map of the city, by the way?
Yes. Yes,
Do we
there
have
is.
one?
It's probably in your atlas, to be fair. Just bear with me 1 second while I take a picture of it. And send it to you all. I will
Show
need
me,
to,
show me.
I'll need to blot out some parts, but
Oh.
The
Where
evil
is-
bad guy's lair.
yeah, all the signs pointing in that direction. I really need to start using I need to stop just drawing my maps is what I'm trying to say, because it makes it a pain, so I've got to take pictures of them and it's fine, I'm fine. Okay.
I had
Sorry?
the idea that I could, because I have an incarnate subscription, so I was like, I could just share that to all the DMs and we could all use my account to make maps, but then you'd see all my secret maps. So sorry.
It's okay, no, because I've got an incarnate subscription, it's just that I don't like using it.
Very fair.
I find it too, I don't know, I don't like it very much. I've made only a couple of maps on there.
It can be quite finicky.
Yeah, that's what I found. I like just drawing them. Okay, I've blotted out the relevant bits that need blotting, so I will send that to you once Discord loads. Right, that's it there.
Ooh. Nice.
So you were
Ooh.
7. To be fair, I probably didn't need to blot out all of that. Regardless, 7 is the Theotus, the large octagonal building, and you were in sort of the row of shops, kind of in the rectangle beneath that. That's where the blacksmith was. Number 1 is the large dark blue building you saw earlier.
Right.
And then number 4 is the market that you're all heading to, and that sort of long, thin rectangle overlaying it is the wall that you've all seen.
And the wall's crumbling, but you can walk through it. Or am I imagining that?
Yeah, well, it's got archways in it anyway, but
Right.
the ends of it are sort of all dilapidated and falling. I mean, it's not. It doesn't look like it is currently in the process of crumbling, but it's just a ruined wall.
Right. And pardon me, you said which was Candlehearth Hall?
Oh, Candlehearth Hall is number 10 on the
Nice.
yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
5 is the Menere Bell. And then 8 is the docks with all the ships and everything. Yeah.
Wait, we didn't go in the Menere Bell, did we?
No, but you passed it.
Right. Was it another sort of tavern thing? Or did we not tell?
You weren't sure.
Right.
It was just a very large, very grand marble building, smack dab in the middle of the river.
Oh. Is it dome shaped?
No, it's just a massive rectangle of marble, pretty much.
Right.
With columns out the front.
Can I see any white stone dome buildings?
Yes, the dark blue building has a white dome.
Oh. And does it have a swirling spire?
It doesn't, but you would be able to see from this part of the city, looking over to the peninsula, there's a large building there that has spires that reach up into the air.
Right. And is there any that look taller than all the others?
Any one spire?
Yeah, a spire that looks just sort of taller than the rest.
Yeah.
Or a
so-
tower, even.
Yeah. So you see 2 on the map, like on the tip of the peninsula.
Right.
There's a number 2. So that it's got multiple spires, but there's like one like set in the midst of them that like towers upwards.
Gotcha. Nice. Guernsey will point at that and say, Eurus, what's that? What's that big tower over there?
Oh, that's the Opal Palace over there. It's where the Lord sits and does his ruling. I believe the Council of 10 also live there.
Oh, tell me about this Lord and this Council of 10.
Oh, so the Lord is sorry, wait 1 second. Okay, yeah. Lord Huprid is his name. Not extremely popular with the people, it has to be said. He's from Ashapur. I don't know if that has anything to do with it. The Council of 10. Oh, I don't know who's sitting on it at the moment, apart from a couple of people I'm familiar with in passing. But they advise the Lord and are responsible for voting the new one in at the end of every term.
Ah, interesting. Thank you very much, Eurus.
That's quite all right.
Are there like lots of people around us right now?
Yes, it's very, very busy. Even
Okay.
despite it being like in the morning, it just seems like there's a lot going on.
Gotcha. Okay, no, that's fine. Thumbs up.
Okay. All right. So are you all heading for the? Oh, you're at the market. That's right. Okay. So you draw closer to it, to this market that's huddled in the shade of the wall, and you're met with a dense cluster of brightly coloured stalls and tents that encircle a statue of a mermaid. The statue overlooks the water. It's made of bronze and is mottled with a sort of green-blue patina. And from here, sort of over the heads of all the people milling around the market, you can see children climbing up into the base of the statue and playing amongst themselves and giggling. Looking around, you find, sure enough, that there is a stall for just about anything. There are stalls serving food and drink, stalls with jewelry, paintings, carvings, glassware, pipeweed, oils, flowers, spices, and the air, even now, is heavy with like the smell of cooked meat. You can smell perfumes, you can smell sage, cardamom. Looking down, you see that there's like dye that's mixed with the murky water in between the cobblestones. Taking a cursory look, you can see that the stall owners are about as diverse as the goods they sell. The majority are human and elves, with the odd halfling, but there are a few that stand out to you. There are 2 dwarves running a stall with fine glass figurines and small ornate-looking toys. There is a gnomish woman with a shock of pink hair and tiny spectacles balanced on a thin, crooked nose, and she's tending to a stall with jars and jars of mushrooms stacked on shelves behind her. And you also see a feline-looking figure, a tabaxi, manning a tent selling yarns of a myriad different shades and hues. But perhaps most unusual are a couple of stalls sort of on the edges of the market. One is stocked with handcrafted wooden instruments. Farron, this would catch your attention in particular. It has ocarinas and flutes and maracas, and instruments that you don't even know the name of. There's a curious little figure manning that stall. It's sat on the counter and swinging its legs, and it appears to be a round, plump, bird-like creature, no larger than a toddler, with plumage of peach, pink, and yellow, and it's wrapped up in cloaks and scarves and these like bright, really horribly clashing colours. There's also one other quite interesting stall that you notice. It's little more than a long table that's covered in all sorts of fruits. you notice that a couple of guards are loitering near it, which you find kind of odd at first, given that it's literally just selling groceries. But you soon see why. Manning the stall are a handful of goblins. And even from here, you can hear their shrill little voices as they call out to the crowd, saying,
"Currants and gooseberries, bright fire like barberries, figs to fill your mouth, citrons from the south, sweet to tongue and sound to eye, come by, come by."
and here is the market. I do have a map of the market as well, specifically. It's a little rough, but it just gives you an idea of like the layout. Bear with me.
I liked the goblin voices.
Thank
I was
you.
a fan of those.
Thanks.
It was pretty good.
Thank you.
Oh.
Okay, so as I say, it's a very rough map, but so that oval in the middle is the mermaid statue. You're coming from the direction of the wall, which is that at the bottom. The goblin stall is number 4. The mushroom stall was number 9. The tabaxi stall was number 11. Yeah, so there's quite a few stalls, as you can see. I just went through a few of them, but yeah. So, Grubs, you're looking for horse treats, and Grimsby, you're looking for potential buyers for your temple trinkets. Is that right? Okay.
Yep.
Sorry, wait a second. Okay, so Grimsby, we'll deal with you first. Looking around, you notice the stall with the dwarves who are selling like the glass ornaments and the little toys. You wonder if they might be interested in buying these ornaments off of you.
Which numbered stall was that one?
Oh, that was number 3.
Thank you.
That's all right. I could go around like each of the stalls if you want and just let you know what's there. Like just like very briefly tell you what they're selling.
Yeah.
So that you know for yourself. Okay.
Mhm.
So number 1 is a large tent selling ale and beer. They are open in the morning, so make of that what you will. Number 2 appears to be a stall selling flowers. It's a little circular stall, and there's like flowers crammed in every available space. Number 3 is the dwarven stall. Number 4 is the goblin stall. Number 5 is the little bird creature with all the different wooden instruments. 6 appears to be quite a long stall that you can smell like cooking food coming from. Like you can smell meat, you can smell gravy and cooking vegetables. Number 7 is quite a neat looking stall. It's like freshly whitewashed, and there's a lilac awning around it. and you can see inside bottles of liquid, like stacked neatly on shelves. If you were to wander by here, you would smell like perfumes and oils and things like that. Stall number 8 appears to be a woman selling pipeweed. 9 is the mushroom stall. 10 is a small little stall that you can smell like spices from. There's like garlic and chilies hanging from the ceiling, and there's like vegetables and things out front as well. 11 is the tabaxi with all the yarn. 12 where is it? Yeah, 12 is this humble little stall pushed up against the wall where a hunched elderly woman is selling an assortment of figurines. Yes.
Nice. Here, let me. Where shall we go first then? We've got our options set out for us. Oh, you already did. Your handwriting's a lot better to read than mine.
Great minds think alike.
Great minds think alike. We just know what to do. All right. Where shall we go first then? It's pretty busy.
I don't mind. I've more or less done my task for today. What do you need to do?
Well, if I sell these, then we could get some better money, and then we can start buying stuff, if we like.
Yes, that's a good point. We don't
We're all down for
necessarily...
that?
Yes, I was just going to say that we don't necessarily have to buy things.
Don't have to. Oh. Oh, I see.
That's
I
your
would say we
thing.
don't necessarily. I mean, we don't, do we?
No,
You're not wrong.
but for now it might be better to get the money anyway, you know?
We'll see. We'll see how things go, and maybe if we get comfortable, we can pay for things in alternative manners, such as not at all.
Indeed. Yes, I like your thinking.
I like your thinking. All right. Can Grimsby see anywhere that just looks where would be the best to sell the sort of temple trinkets? He has a chalice, censer, and knife, and a golden statuette of Lisbon, the god of time and knowledge.
Well, there is a statuette stall for the statue.
Good point.
A figurine stall, even. That's probably might be similar.
Sounds like the best bet so far. Let's head on over.
Okay. All right. So you head over to the stall selling little sculptures. Over to the old punched human woman. As you get closer, you can see that all the figurines are made from an assortment of materials. There's some made from wood, some from soapstone, some from clay. But as you near it, you can see that there are only 2 designs of figurines sold here. The one is of a bearded man, stood proud and fierce, a trident in hand, and a crown of pearls set atop his head. And the other is of a scaled, 4-armed figure with ridges down its back and a gaping maw full of needle-like teeth. On the shelves behind this woman, you also see devotional objects. Amulets, candles, ropes of beads, things like that. Anyone, if they like, can make a religion check to see if they recognize these figurines and what's depicted in them.
Grimsby will.
Okay.
For Grimsby, for religion, that's a 17.
Very nice. Okay. You recognize the depiction of the bearded man straight away. This is a very typical depiction of Thospor, god of the sea. But you also recognize the scaled four-armed figure. This creature is one of Thosbor's less well-known avatars that he has appeared in, a kraken. You know that Thosbor, depicted in this form, signifies strength, fury, and fate.
Good morning, ma'am.
Oh, good morning there.
Wonderful stall you have here.
Oh, thank you. All proceeds go to the temple.
Oh, the what temple would that be?
Oh, and she sort of gestures behind her through an arch in the wall to the Theotus, and then she looks at you and with a kindly smile says, "Oh, I expect you must be new in town."
Yes, we are. Just arrived today, actually.
Oh, well, welcome. Welcome to Minerva Bay.
Thank you. I was wondering, you sell, statues. I was wondering if you perhaps bought things as well.
Oh, I'm afraid I don't.
Don't worry about it.
But,
And she sort of lifts her hand and points at the stall with the dwarves. Says,
you might have some luck over there. They buy all sorts of things, they do.
Well, thank you very much. I may be back, just getting some spending money first.
Oh, well, I look forward to seeing you again.
And you, ma'am. And then Nuwen is going to head over to the dwarves if no one else has any. If no one else wants to buy any sea god trinkets.
I mean, Charles would want a sea god trinket, but I don't think Gobs would, unfortunately.
That's fair.
Very valid. All right,
Okay.
Grims will head over to the dwarves then.
All right. So you head over. Their stall is a large one, with a bright green awning. And as you draw closer, you get a better look at the dwarves. They're both very burly, and both with very blonde hair. And upon closer inspection, the pair of them seem to be twins. Both of them have the exact same squat features, the same square jaw, the same grey-green eyes, and the only difference between them really is the hair. One of them has his hair shorn off completely, and the other has instead chosen to gracefully accept his receding hairline.
Do these look like the dwarvish versions of the Da Vinci twins?
I don't know.
You
Oh
don't
no!
know.
Oh no! No, they don't. No, they don't. Now that I've seen them, I do recognize them. Unfortunately for me. Oh.
We will head over.
Oh, I hate
Wave.
that you put this in my head.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm back now.
Da Vinci?
I hate it. Okay, anyway. You wave and they both give you a little nod in tandem. You can see that the shelves on one side of the stall are crammed full of all sorts of glassware. There's vases, bowls, strings of beads, delicate glass dipping pens, tiny figurines. And then on the other side of the stall is a varied selection of wooden toys. There's boats, animals, soldiers, ballerinas, dragons, spinning tops, rattles, hoops, everything and anything you could think of. As you approach... Oh, sorry.
Oh, sorry. No, sorry.
No, you're fine, don't worry. Good morning. Fine day, innit?
Yes, wonderful. How are you both this morning?
Oh, fine and well. Bit chilly.
Yes, it's getting that time of year. I was wondering if I heard from a bird that you may buy trinkets.
Oh, we've been known to, haven't we, Harriet? Yes, Harriet. The first one gives you a nod again and encourages you to go on.
Yes, well, me and my friends here have acquired a small selection of trinkets that we thought, we might hand in for some coin.
Ah,
If
Well,
you're
don't-
interested.
Of course, don't just stand there. Bring them out. Let's have a look.
Here we go. Grimsby will pull out the golden statuette of Liz, the ornamental chalice, censer, and knife,
Oh.
an amber gem from Elor,
Okay.
and an ornate brooch of a crossed sword and scroll.
Okay.
What do you think of these?
Oh. Both of them kind of go in. Darrett takes the chalice and the knife and seems to be inspecting those. Meanwhile, Harriet is looking at the the statuette and the piece of amber. He briefly looks at the little brooch and then puts it down. Apparently, not very interested in that. But they seem quite interested in the rest of the items you brought. And Harriet sort of nods a little. He's the one with the shorn off hair, for the record. He says, I think we could do something with these. True enough. Might be able to sell them for a pretty coin. What's that there? And then Darrett sort of hands him the amber and he's like, oh, I haven't seen a piece this clear in some time. We're happy to take them all, I think. Aren't we, Darrett? No, yes, Harriet. Oh.
Apart from the brooch.
Oh. Harriet hadn't noticed the brooch and looks over at it and sort of gives his head a little shake. Don't think that's for us, but the rest of it we'll take off your hands. How much were you hoping to buy them for? Sell them for?
Well, so Grimsby has a vague appraisal on the rest of things. How much does he think the amber gem could... Is there any way to think that?
Make just like a... intelligence check, I guess.
Ooh, not his best. 12.
Okay. You would think you could probably sell it for like 50 gold.
Okay. 50 gold. He'll say, well, how much do you think for this? How much do you think about the amber?
He'll take it and he sort of holds it up and says, a piece this size and a piece this good quality. I'd buy it for... What do you think, Darrett? Oh, I don't know. What do you think, Harriet? I think, 70.
70. Okay, all right. Well, for the grand total of everything, the statuette, chalice, censer, knife, and gem, I'm thinking... Let me just do some quick maths. 100 plus... what would you say to 500 and... to go
500 and what, sorry?
40.
He gives you a shrewd look, and then looks at Darrett, who looks back at Harriet. Well, do you reckon you could knock that down just a little? We have to make a profit off of this at the end of the day, after all. Maybe an even 500?
Ooh, I mean, you have the luxury of living here, my good. You have so many travelers coming through that would buy it for such a good price if you just wait. I sadly don't have that luxury. I have to drop these off and carry on with my journey. Surely, if you waited a little and looked for the right buyer, you could sell them for far more than 500. Say 520.
Make a persuasion check.
What even is his persuasion? Okay. 13.
Okay. He sort of looks the items over again and picks up that piece of amber once more and holds it up to the light. And then gives you another like shrewd look with like one eye squinted closed. And he says 510.
515.
Done.
Done. It's a deal. He'll hand them over.
Okay. In the meantime, Darrett has already been counting out gold, which he will pass over to you.
Nice.
As they take the items and they sort of tuck them for the moment, in a wee little shelf underneath the counter.
Perfect. Thank you very much, boys. I hope you have a wonderful...
You too.
He'll turn around to the rest of the party and give them all a big thumbs up, and he'll come with the bag of gold. So, how many ways are we splitting this? 515 in total. Me,
Shabby.
Bryn, Grubbs, Farron, Orthan, Eurus? Yeah, I suppose Eurus.
Wouldn't want to make it awkward, would we?
No. 85 each, and then I'll keep the change.
I think that is only fair.
Again, bad at maths. You know how it is.
Okay. So everyone can go ahead and add 85 gold to their inventories.
And
actually,
Grimsby
yeah.
can basically add an extra 5 gold to that if he's keeping the change.
Oh, never mind. Grimsby will do it equally then. That was just Finley to figure out tiny bits were.
That's okay.
Grimsby is fair with money, even if he is an asshole. So, nice. Grimsby's content, and he's happy to let anyone else take over what they want to do.
Okay.
Oh, excuse me.
Yes, you.
So
Thank you.
next be to find a treat for the horse, perhaps?
Yep.
Yeah.
I suspect possibly the Goblin Stall might be a place to look for some sort of treat. I don't know.
Yeah, you could certainly go over there.
Yeah, Gubbs would lead the way.
Okay. Okay, let me just find that. Oh my god, what tab is it? Okay, there we go. It's fine. Okay. You head over to the Goblin Stall. It's manned by 6 goblins, who are all sort of chittering amongst themselves, apart from the one who was calling out to the to the market. It's got these scraggly bits of bunting that look like they might very well have just been scavenged from a bin somewhere, pinned to the underside of the table, which is laden with so many fruits it's a miracle that it's not sagging beneath them all. You look and you can see apples and quinces, lemons and oranges, melons and raspberries, cranberries, crab apples, dewberries, pineapples, you name it, it's there. One of the goblins, as you come up, is shouting,
Come buy our orchard fruit.
He's got a whiskery face and a long nose. Another with huge ears, even for a goblin, with teeth sticking out every which way, is saying,
Come buy, come buy.
another one, oh no, the first one, sorry, says,
All ripe in summer weather, morns that pass by, fair eves that fly, come buy, come buy.
and then the second one says,
Our grapes, fresh from the vine,
pomegranates full and fine, and as he sees you all approaching, he sort of directs this to you, and he's saying,
dates and sharp bullaces, rare pears and green gages, damsons and bilberries. Taste them and try.
Hello. What a wonderful little sales tactic. Hey? Very nice. You must have been practicing all night for that one.
oh. The one with a whiskery face kind of gives a little bow, and he's like,
It was my idea.
I want that on record.
You should pat yourself on the back. It was very good.
He does so.
Do you know if you have anything that would make a good treat for a horse?
Oh.
You see, we've just been on quite a big journey, and I feel that our horses deserve quite the treat. And, well, seeing the treats you have here, I thought you must be the people to talk to.
Well, I reckon you came to the right place. Let me see. Apples is a classic.
He sort of looks over the table, and you can see that there are some very red, sumptuous-looking apples. kind of in one part of the table. He looks at you and he looks like embarrassed. And after a while he says,
I don't really know what horses eat. Besides apples.
Well, I had a friend once called Google who suggested that they like grapes, bananas, strawberries, cantaloupe, and sort of melons, everything really.
I see you've made the same Google search that I have.
Yes, I will have. How about a little selection?
Yay! All right.
And he goes out and he gets some apples, some bananas, some strawberries, perhaps some cantaloupe, or perhaps other melons.
Not to forget celeries, pumpkins, and snow peas, wherever those are.
Precisely. And sort of bundles them up. You got a nice little fruit salad, as it were. And then he comes over with this like little sack of fruit.
How's this?
That's excellent. Thank you very much. How much would that be, please?
That'll be let me see. A gold.
Oh yes, that seems about right. Here you go.
And goes to hand over a gold.
He snatches it off you, he pockets it, and he's like, he rubs his hands together in a sinister fashion. And you have a sack of goblin fruit.
Excellent.
Here we are. I think if it is all right, we might pause there for this evening. Just because I'm going to level with you all. I'm quite tired, and I have work tomorrow. So
That's very fair.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Zara.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. It was really funny. I love the goblins.
I love these goblins.
Thank you. Can I read you their names, because I don't know if they'll come up,
Yes,
but I need you all to know. Their names are Slib, Frez, Rox, Ert, and then the whiskery one was called Pivesuk, and the one with like the big ears was called Bweebarb.
Oh.
These are good
Was one of them called
names.
Ert?
Thank you.
Like just dirt, but without the D?
It's spelled with a U, but it rhymes.
Like
Yurt.
the hut. Is that what they call Urts?
Yurts.
Oh, Yurt. I'm thinking of Yurt. Yeah. Amazing.
That's so
Can you
funny.
do the voice one more time?
Yes, I can. I say, and then
Well, I hope you all enjoyed this evening.
I think
I
you
can't
should
wait
use
to pick
that
up.
voice.
this is just my
regular DMing voice now.
You should definitely use that on annoying customers.
As I was going to say.
Exactly.
it's what they deserve. In fact, you know what? No, they don't deserve my goblin voice.
Only the finest customers deserve goblin.
Yes.
Exactly. Oh.
Oh, you should totally wind up Amy tomorrow and just talk to her with that voice. Just be like, Zana, what you doing?
That is exactly. You nailed that.
What? I've always talked like this.
Oh, gaslighting with the goblin voice, please.
Jesus.
Oh, you're a fly on the wall.
Amazing.
Oh, well, I do hope you all enjoyed. And I look forward to next time. I realized that I had like every single area planned in the city, apart from like entering the city. So I was like, oh my god, what does it look like again? Oh yeah, there's buildings for sure.
There do be walls.
There do be walls.
It was wonderful.
Oh,
Yeah, it was really, really good. I'm so excited to explore more.
It sounds like such a cool city. I love all the colors. The description of the market as well. So
Yeah.
I want to
Thank
live
you.
here.
Thank you. I was very proud of the market in particular.
It's
That's like
very good.
it's like 5 pages long, like all the stalls.
Be sure to spend the entire next session here.
You should. Oh,
Amazing.
I'm glad you
Yeah.
all enjoyed.
Thank you so
Yeah,
much,
that's
Sarah.
good.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
it was really, really good.
I keep saying this, but I can really like imagine like these little games as like a TV show. Like each game is like an
Yeah.
episode.
Oh,
I wish we did have a sort of time, budget, and animation skills to make this.
I know.
that would be wonderful.
Yeah, this was a good session for it.
Oh yeah, did we didn't record this session, did we?
Yes, we did.
Yes.
Yes, we recorded it. Are you kidding? Brilliant. Oh, that's so good.
Amazing.
Orthon's questions have been recorded. That's
I was talking to Amy at work about D&D, and I told her I would send her a clip from this game. So I'll have
Maybe
to
the
find a
one.
choice section. Pardon?
She made you promise.
She did.
Well, she's going to feature in it now at the end.
Hey, Amy.
Hey, Amy.
Oh, okay.
She wants
Yes,
to join. I think she should come in eventually.
I think so too. I think, like, the main thing is scheduling. But I was saying to her, like, even if she just comes in for like one session, just to like,
Yeah.
because I really think she'd enjoy it. She's already like brainstormed a character, and the character is amazing, by the way. And I love him so much.
So excited.
Oh, so one day, hopefully.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness! I keep drawing people into my web of
No.
role-playing games.
Oh, that's also a good point.
Mhm.
I'm running because obviously we're going sort of down in. We're losing people to the hell that is exam period. Obviously, you guys know. I don't think Jane knows. We're doing a little one-shot session with me, Lindsay, Zara, and Kat. And if you were free next week, you would be more than welcome to join that as well. If you liked.
Thank you very much.
It would be very much just like a dungeon crawl, very standard, typical D&D. I didn't make it; it's just like a pre-made one. If you were free, more than welcome to join
Thanks
it.
so much. That'd be great.
Yeah, I'll give you some more information later. But yeah, it's
Brilliant.
because I think poor Charles is being murdered by exams.
Oh, if you can record that one, I can listen to it as a podcast or something. That'd be cool.
Oh, that would be fun.
That's a good idea. Yeah.
Yeah,
Lindsay wants
I'll
to-
be sure to do that.
I think Lindsay and Zara have
Ooh.
their characters made for it. It's a
I
higher
have-
level than. Would you have an idea?
Oh, well, I was going to do something, but I think it's more fun for roleplay, so I'm probably not going to do it. But I really want to do an actual Kenku who can't speak, but is somehow very persuasive, and they just repeat everything everyone else says, and somehow they're mysteriously persuasive with everything.
You could put that in this one.
That'd be very funny.
Well,
I
think
want to
the
do that.
one-shots are kind of perfect for
Yeah.
playing characters that aren't necessarily super viable for multiple sessions.
Yeah, it would get so old doing like doing a Kenku who's just like yes to everything.
This module, it's like one session long, maybe two if you guys like slowly. I mean, it's quite a short dungeon, but it looks fun and it's quite deadly. So make a backup just in case.
Yeah,
Sweating.
noted.
Don't get attached to the character.
It's too late. It's too late for that.
It's too late. Literally, I was reading one of the traps and I was like, "Oh, so this is just okay. You just die. Okay." We'll
I'm
see.
filled with glee and hope upon hearing that. That's for sure.
Yeah, and it's set. I've set it the year before our campaign started, or the year before that we
Oh,
are
that's
in the
cool.
current campaign. So it's the year 799 AD.
Nice.
During the summer.
Oh, very nice.
Ooh.
Aww.
So yeah.
Now I'm thinking about Eldathas, so now I'm thinking about Adine, and now I'm emotional. Why does this happen?
I can't wait till we can go back to Elder.
I know.
Oh,
I'm
it'll
looking
be
forward
fun.
to it.
Ah.
With,
Especially that cliffhanger you left us on last time.
what was
With
it?
all the
Oh,
hordes
God,
of Mad
yeah.
Max coming across the desert.
Yeah, you got Mad Max surrounded. To be fair, there was like 4 or 5, but still.
Really? Oh, I thought it was a lot more than that.
We
Which means I had in my head about 30 of them.
Oh, sorry about that. I mean, let me just change something.
No, it's okay. Don't worry.
Yes, let me just write that idea down. Sorry.
We need to stop giving Finn ideas.
Never.
Oh.
I'm really looking forward to, or I'm actually free enough to plan the next session for my campaign as well, because
Yeah.
it's going to be a big one and it'll be cool, but I just don't have time to plan anything at the moment.
I feel that. Oh, I hope uni's going okay.
I think it is. I'm sort of semi-voluntarily introducing stricter study regimes on myself as of tomorrow.
Yeah, I'm rehearsing. It's just the schedule. It's Saturday's thing, and it's always at the time we would be playing D.
Yeah.
So if we did want to, from now until like mid-December, it would kind of happen later, like during the day, which works for me personally, but I don't know if it works for everyone else.
I think the thing is actually, I was about to say, the thing is with work is that, a lot of the time I can't do during the day, but like any time in the evening works. But we're going to be going back to 8 p.m. closes next week. So
oh dear,
occasionally I will not be available in the evenings because I'll come back. By the time I get back, it'll be like 10 o'clock at night.
Oh God. Oh Jesus. Yeah.
Oh, 9? Oh, I wish.
Sorry. I was being so naive.
You fool.
Oh
dear.
Well.
But
Is this like up until Christmas? I should know this, but I don't.
So it'll be until the Christmas period is over, and then I think Beth is planned to go back to 5 o'clock. So it's not permanent.
That's nice of her, I guess.
The hesitancy with it, you're like, that seems too benevolent.
Oh God, I'm so up and down with Beth. I don't know whether to like respect and like her or just.
Yeah, I'm vibing with that sentiment this evening.
She does some things well, and other things she just does not.
She manages a store well, but she doesn't manage people well, I think is the thing. Is this still streaming?
Yes.
Whoops.
Beth is watching somewhere.
Whoa.
It's not that Beth, it's a Beth I know from primary school. I don't know.
It's the other Beth we work for.
That's the one.
Oh dear.
It's a woman called Bethany. We call her Beth for short, okay?
Of course.
You know Bethany, right, guys?
I actually do know a Bethany.
Oh, brilliant.
The Bethany. You know the Bethany.
Yeah, I know like 2 Bethanies. So just pick one.
Oh.
This is unrelated and just about D&D, but I'm looking at Eldritch and Grimsby, and one of them's called Eyes of Runekeeper, and the description is you can read all right, which I know what it means in terms of like you can read all the languages, but it's very funny this like, great.
Oh. I like Eldritch Invocations. They're just a bit neat.
They're just a little bit neat. It's very hard to choose which ones though. I didn't realize I've not given Grimsby enough spells as he's meant to have because I'm bad at reading and thinking and using my brain. So I've been spending the last 10 minutes of that session looking at different spells.
I don't know how you get so few spells. I can't imagine accidentally giving yourself less as a warlock.
I didn't know I had 3rd level spell slots yet, so I was just like,
oh.
I was gonna say I did the same thing with Morwen for ages. She's had like 3 less spells than she could have had for pretty much the entire campaign.
Oh bless.
And I was
her.
like, oh brilliant, but she still uses the same 3 spells anyway, so it doesn't make any difference. I'm just like, oh, I can have like Contagion and another spell.
If it's broke, don't fix. If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
I just want to use Blight all the time.
Adine had fewer spells prepared than she could have, but I have since addressed that because I like variety.
Nice.
Unfortunately for every up visit down, I realised that Swiftfoot had too many spells and I've had to remove a load.
Oh no.
That's a shame.
Oh, that's sad. Now how will he heal you all as often?
Good old Swiftfoot. The party
Well,
healer.
as a result of that, he does actually get higher level spells when I realise he got.
I was thinking of Grubs for some reason, despite the fact you just said Swiftfoot. I was like, oh, Grubs. He just has that effect. You just forget anyone else exists for a second.
I'm really intrigued what Grub's plan is towards Eurus, and I guess Bryn slightly to an extent, but I'm really intrigued by what's going to happen because I just know that, yeah, honestly, I don't think Bryn's going to tell Grubs more than she was like, double room. So I'm excited to see what he does.
Oh,
I
dear.
have messaged Zara my plans.
Oh god, I'm so excited.
Secret.
I'm excited.
love that,
I'm
like-
looking forward to it.
I love that Charles is by far the person who messages me the most, being like, can we do the secret thing? But it's always just like, can Grubs use the bird call staff? And it just makes me so happy. I'm so glad that Grubs has that staff. That's the best thing that happened this entire game, to be honest. It's just
Best
amazing.
magical item. I can't think of any more powerful item that you'd want. It's best.
Oh, who needs the sword of Golionor when you've got a bird call staff?
I've just realised that 2 of Grubs' free magic items are bird themed. I don't know if that's a message I haven't picked up on yet.
Oh yeah. Huh. What a funny coinky-dink.
Winky dink.
Coinky-dink. Oh, Grubs has a... Did Grubs always have the little teapot on the landing page?
I just closed it. I think it was added in fairly quickly.
Very nice. Okay, anyway.
I like the
I'm gonna
frog
go.
that says woof.
That's labelled Frogmorton. Imagine if
That's adorable.
Frogmorton was just a big frog.
I would love that.
The village just built on... I'm taking notes.
Forgets
That's
to
another
say
thing
it
that-
first gets to take it.
As Charles, I wish we'd had more interaction with the frogs, but I don't know how we would have done that.
Honestly, no, you go on.
Oh no, never mind. I was just
No.
saying dumb
I
words.
really was just going to talk about absolute nonsense.
Oh,
So
was I? I was going to be
I
like,
was
did we
gonna
miss anything cool with the frogs?
yeah, that's actually a good question.
No.
Oh.
Fine then. I'm
Oh,
fine
that's
then.
fine.
They were just... I was just like... This place is called Frogmorton. Why is it called that? Oh, I know. Loads of frogs. That's pretty much it.
Frogs, we got them.
I think at some point we're definitely going to have to go back and find the reasons for why there's frogs. So it'll be like some sort of ancient cursed item that summons frogs or something.
I want to know the
You mean
legend of
blessed?
Frogmorton.
Sorry, of course.
Yeah.
It's just an open sort of portal to the frog dimension.
I want to go there.
It's frogs all the way down.
Oh. Well, I am going to go.
Yes.
Yes. We'll figure out when the next session will be sometime next week.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, Charles will not be joining us for that, I believe.
Yeah, probably not, unfortunately. Gobs will have to get lost somewhere in the city.
Rest in peace.
But we will be streaming it again, providing everyone's okay with that. So you will have another podcast
Ooh.
episode to listen to, Charles.
Excellent.
And
Yeah,
we
I
may
was gonna-
possibly be doing thingy.
Oh yeah,
Yay.
yeah. I was going to say, I think that for me, looking at my calendar, there are basically 10 straight days that I can't play,
Mhm.
starting from the 1st until the 4th. Well, no, not 10 days. Well, actually, no, yeah, 10 days, really, because I have a weekend which I could probably play. I could squeeze a session in maybe, but I will have like 2 weeks where I just don't think I'll have the time, unfortunately, just
Okay.
because, yeah, it literally will be the 1 week I'm doing like data analysis, and
Yeah.
that will take up a significant chunk of my time researching whatever animal I'm analyzing. And then the second week, 7,500 words in a week. So no,
Fun.
I don't think I'll have time,
Oh.
unfortunately, because I'll have to do everything else on top of that. So
That 7,500 report sounds awful, but I'm sure you'll smash it.
oh god, I don't know what's going to happen. I'm just going to talk about dinosaurs, and Jason better give me 100% because he loves dinosaurs. Dinosaurs and mongooses, banded mongooses to be specific. They're stripy.
I just had
I'm
one
sure.
of my deadlines moved, so it's in the same week as all my other deadlines now, which
Right,
is
right.
kind of nice because it gives me more time, but it means that now I've got 5 deadlines in 1 week and it's just awful.
Yeah, that's not the best. Well, we'll see. Hopefully, we can get a session of Nuwen in before the first. Then, just because I don't really want to run it if 2 people will be missing. So especially since now there's like plot stuff
Mhm.
on the verge of
Yeah.
happening. So we'll see. Like hopefully we can fit one more in.
Like I said, 5th and 6th, I can do.
Okay. Yeah.
But that's, I also think that the day when I submit the 7,500 one, it's submissions at 9 a.m. on that day. So I will be up until 6 a.m. probably, or even like last time. So I don't think I'll be able to do on that day, even on submission day, because I think I will be that out of it. That
No, that's
either
fair.
if we do,
Dear.
Bryn will be high, or so yeah. But after that, and like once I'm doing my honors project, I think I'm going to be very flexible at that point. It will be better than it has been.
Okay. Well, we'll figure things out. That's fine. I don't think the rota is up past this coming week. For
I don't think it is. I've not got
No.
any. I never noticed it today either. So
yeah. So I don't know what's happening with work. So yeah, but we'll figure it out. It's fine.
let's
yeah.
just go off work. Who cares?
Let's just be like, sorry, I've got more important things to do, like D&D.
Let's just tell Beth who did the impossible and got sick.
Oh God, don't. Oh, I can't. Okay, I'm back. I don't think I mentioned that to you guys. Actually, there was a whole palaver where like we had a new girl, and then she called in sick, and like I was in on that day, and she was saying like, oh. Like Beth was saying, oh, so and so called in sick. What do you think? Clearly implying that clearly, like, she thought she was skiving and wasn't actually sick. And then I think it was to you, Jane, that she was talking to when she said like all the other stuff about like I don't remember actually.
Yeah, she was sort of like implying that because this was her first week of work, that now she's not a reliable member of staff, and how could she possibly get sick in our store when we clean everything and wear masks? I'm like, 1, Amy Lee works here. 2, she has a younger sister who goes to school. She could have like picked up a bug from anywhere.
Yeah.
I'm like, enough of your shite.
Yeah.
You tell
Enough.
them. Get their ass.
Also, it is a global pandemic at the moment, so you would want to be extra careful if you are sick.
Exactly.
Oh yeah, don't get me into that with Tim's work. Jesus Christ, they're so bad for that.
Oh
They're
boy.
big bastards about it.
Oh well, like Callum had some interns come in. Oh no, if we're streaming, I should probably stop.
That's fine. I will stop it.